What's up, everybody? It is your boy, the Don Sean, and this is
Brother St. Polo at
and
your
we
service.
are here with Robyn and Charlette Renegade, the Renegade twins. How you doing, ladies?
What's up, guys?
We're good. How are you guys?
Doing?
We're doing
I'm
well.
doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good.
Don Sean, you got to put some respect on their name. You feel me? Because
Yeah, brother, do it for me. Do it for me.
They have been moving and grooving through the indies, and not only are they the first ever Mission Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions, they are the first ever Capital Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champions.
Yes,
So,
the first ever ladies tag team champs. How y'all feeling?
We're
Right.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel on top of the world right now.
Yeah.
You know, double champs, actually.
Triple champs.
yeah, nah.
Ooh, triple champs. Talk about that, ladies.
Y'all want to explain the Triple Champs, ladies? Explain the Triple Champs.
So this past week, we had a match with a couple of our training partners at a small show.
I was gonna say, let's plug the show. Let's plug
Yes,
them.
it's called PCW Platinum Championship Wrestling.
And we wrestled Rock and Shock. So their names are Caleb Kennedy and Casey Rocker. You should look them up. They're pretty dope.
Yes. But we had this match with them, and it was winner take all. Of course, we have all women's promotion belts, but that didn't matter to them. They're like, we can put on wigs, it'll be fine. But we're throwing our belt up too, which happened to be a plastic Party City belt.
No way.
And we won. Of course, we won. But I didn't want those belts.
No, we
they
didn't
were
want the
plastic with Sharpie, and I'm good.
Right. We threw them right back in their face. But technically, we are triple champs.
Yes.
Triple champs. Wow, what are we gonna say? We definitely can't steal Henry Cejudo's thing, Triple C, because that will get us sued probably. But wow, so how are we gonna define that, ladies? What do we call that?
Oh, I don't know.
That's a good one to think about.
That's really hard to think about. We're gonna have to
I
think
don't know.
about
They're
that.
twins with triplet championships. I don't know. They're twins
The
with
triple twins.
The triple
twins. I don't know.
the triplet champions. I don't
That's
know.
it, triple champ,
TTs, you know what I'm saying? TTs.
Triple champ.
TTCs. Champs in the building, you know.
Awesome.
So,
ladies, we know you ladies are very busy ladies, and we don't want to take up too much of your time. So let's kind of cut it out and let's get straight to it. What got you guys into wrestling?
Well, wrestling, to be honest.
Yes. Before Robyn explains her part, I will say we watched wrestling as children for a very short period of time in our lives. It took one time dropping an elbow off the top bunk while Robyn held our little brother still for us to not watch wrestling anymore for a very, very, very long time.
Oh, look at the cat. Hello.
Cat.
My tiger.
Oh, is it a boy or girl?
It's a boy.
He is huge.
I was going to say he's humongous. Why is he so big?
He's 10 years old, but we feed him definitely heavy.
Hey, happy cat. A fat cat is a happy cat.
Amen. Happy cat, happy life.
Thanksgiving just passed. You know that cat ate good.
Yes.
In my house, absolutely.
But so we started watching wrestling, I would say 2016, 17.
Yes.
Well, I did. I started watching wrestling around 2016, 17. I was probably 16, 17 years old. But I started watching wrestling, and what really kind of caught my attention, I hate telling people this because it really makes me sound really bad. But I'll be honest. Roman Reigns, we were just scanning through everything. Yeah,
they both sit back like, oh, I know where this is going.
Yep. Here we go.
Just scanning through something one night, and he popped off across my screen, and I told my dad to go back because I wanted to watch. And so we went back and we finished the entire Raw episode, and ever since then it kind of just has been a thing for us. It started off as pretty man, and then ended into for Robyn. For me,
wow.
One day I was at home, and I don't know if Robyn was on a date or what she was doing, but it was just me and Dad. And he looks at me, and because Robyn wasn't there, he was like, "You want to watch this with me?" And I was like, "Wrestling, dude? Really? Like, that's fake." And I did what everybody who does not watch wrestling, I did that. I was that person that night. He's like, "It's 3 hours." I was like, "How long is it?" He goes, "It's 3 hours." I was like,
3 hours.
Oh, we ain't got time for 3
I
hours.
was like, I ain't got time for that. I don't want to watch 3 hours of wrestling. I don't even know who any of these people are. I don't know anything about it. He was like, "It's okay, just watch. It'll go by so fast." So I sit down. We start watching SummerSlam 2018. Man, if I didn't sit there and that 3 hours go by so quick. And then Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy came on the TV, and Randy Orton put that screwdriver right in Jeff's ear and twisted, and that was it. I was hooked.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that cage match, man, was chef's kiss for me. That was the exact moment. Like, I can tell you the exact moment that I was like, I'm gonna do this one day. I'm all here for wrestling.
Oh yeah, I did the same thing. We were watching, I think it was 2018, maybe 2019 WrestleMania. I can't remember which one, but it was Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, and that match was crazy. First off, the like backstory behind it is wild. So like being a worker now, knowing the backstory, I have so much more respect for that match. A lot of people don't like that match, but it was one of my favorites because I remember watching it and Roman Reigns just got busted open, and it was like, shoot, he just got busted open. And it was just this crazy thing of him like bleeding, and he continued like the next 20-30 minutes of just getting his butt whooped. Like, it was crazy, and I loved it, and it just made me and Charlette both want to just wrestle. Yep.
That's awesome. So it took the screwdriver in the ear for her. She was just ready. Like, that's it. It's a horror.
I was like, oh yeah, let's do it.
And
I have to ask
Roman
Charlotte,
Reigns.
Yes.
do you like imagine? Do you ladies ever imagine doing that to any one of your opponents? Like, just putting a screwdriver in somebody's ear, and just in terms of a Extreme Rules concept.
I feel like if that is definitely something I would personally want to use. I love Randy Orton. Like, my favorite male wrestler right now, current male wrestler, is Randy Orton. And for that exact reason, I just love him. I think he's sneaky. I don't know. I just love him as a worker, you know? I just love his gimmick. I love all that.
He's legendary.
So
He
I
is legendary.
would personally do it if I ever had the opportunity. Sorry, my phone. If I ever had the opportunity, like, to have a like no holds bar, like, could do whatever I wanted to, definitely that's something I would do. But not many girls have gauges, so like, if you really think about it, I'd have to find the exact right opponent.
Oh yeah, it'd be like a once in a career opportunity.
Yeah, for sure.
That's actually absolutely factual. There are very few girls in the industry with gauges in. Like, what, Rhea Ripley, off the top of my head, I know, but otherwise, like,
Hey, but even
I
she
think
doesn't
Ruby
have
Soho
like,
has.
yeah,
like,
Ruby Soho.
even those women don't even have like big gauges. They have teeny tiny little gauges.
Right.
Not big enough to
Rhea
stick
Ripley? Rhea Ripley has some pretty big ones, I feel like. You think those are
I
teeny?
feel like hers are about the size of a quarter, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
That's big enough to put something through.
Yeah, you could put something
yeah,
through.
you're right. You're
That's
right.
big enough to put something through for sure.
Digressing away from screwdrivers. But in all seriousness, ladies, like, you ladies have really torn up the indie scene, and congratulations once more on coming Mission Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions.
Thank you.
In regards to that, like, just working with under someone like Thunder Rosa, what have you learned from your tenure in Mission Pro Wrestling?
So much.
Right.
So much.
Really, truly, I feel like the biggest thing that we've learned is, you know, as much as like us as workers don't talk about what happens backstage is a big part of our job.
Yeah.
So like, I would say that the biggest thing that I've learned personally from being around Thunder and knowing and seeing how she reacts and the business she she puts out there and the way she presents herself is, you always have to be on. Always be on. Always act like there's someone extremely important watching you. Always think that there's somebody there that could possibly give you a contract or possibly let you live your dream. So always be on. Always be nice. Always be respectful. And even if you don't mess with somebody that might be backstage, always be cordial. And then when you go in the ring, be professional and go out there and try your best. And it's always, I feel like Thunder's biggest deal is, of course, women, but past that, it's showing that women can do this. And the only way that we can show that we can do this is by not messing up at all and not showing that, like, hey,
it's okay to mess up.
Yes.
Just don't show that you did.
Right. Pretty much.
And for me, what I've learned is that no matter where you get in this industry, and I don't think it's just a Thunder Rosa thing. I think it's the other vets that we have the privilege of working with at Mission Pro in the locker room. we have Holiday, we have Genocide, we have Jazz. We've had so many women come in, like La Rosa Negra. We've had so many women come into our lives, and they, as good as they are, they never stop grinding. They always know, like they know there's always something they can do a little bit better. You're never 100% that there's always something to work on, even when you don't feel like there is. There's always a way to get better. And
Even when you're Thunder Rosa signed to AEW, making
Yep.
so much money and probably the most over women that they have on their roster,
Absolutely.
you always have a reason to
Absolutely.
get better.
I will find no argument from Sean over here. That
Of course not.
Absolutely. The woman who held the NWA's title,
Yes, she did.
AEW, and is sat without a belt around her waist because she's a goddamn trooper.
She
The most
is.
over in this
She
guy,
is.
for sure.
She is so over. Hey, look, we feel the same way.
yeah,
Hey,
I'm all for
You'll
Thunder
get no
Rosa. I
You'll
feel
get
like
no pushback from me.
underused and underappreciated, you know?
I don't think she's underused. She's used a lot.
No,
but-
she
No,
is.
she absolutely is. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you guys would probably know way better than me, but like I remember when she got signed, there was like reports that she was going to be helping their women's division because of her experience and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, you know, obviously now that she's doing her own thing with this Mission Pro Wrestling thing, I'm all for it, man. I'm all
yeah,
for
I
it.
mean-
That lady is when she took the NWA title, I was so happy. I
Oh,
was
me
so
too.
happy. I lost my shit. I really did, because you could see that, like, it was great for the NWA, you know, at the time, because they had her and they gave her that honor, and it's like the prestige just with the name NWA, you know, I felt like
yeah.
somebody of her caliber deserved that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. But I also feel like Thunder brought so much to that title. So much to that title. Not that the
Absolutely.
title didn't mean anything before, but like now when you think of NWA Women's Champion, you think Thunder Rosa and you think
Yeah.
Badass Woman and you think hardcore and like,
Ruthless, aggressive.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I feel like she's brought so much to that title that now whoever, it's Camille, yeah? Camille has it now?
Yeah, it's still
Camille has a big shoe to fill.
She
She's
definitely
got
still
like a
does.
big shoe to
She
fill.
definitely still does.
Yes, she does.
But I feel like Thunder Rosa, not only like with the title, but also other women, like women's, like their locker rooms. You know what I mean? Like she helps the product.
No,
That's
yeah,
how I
just-
feel about it.
Just being there. I was gonna say we were at WrestleCade this past weekend, and she didn't. That's not her promotion. She doesn't run anything, but her just being there made the back room so much lighter and
Yeah.
like feel good. And maybe that's just because we know her personally, but I also don't feel like that's the case. I feel like everybody feels that way about her
Yeah.
when they meet her. That she's just so bubbly and happy, and she just makes everything so much better. It's just she's
We
an
love
amazing
her.
person to have.
We could not speak any more highly of Thunder
Right.
at all. I could take the next 40 minutes to talk just about Thunder.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah,
But I
that's
love
awesome.
that.
That's just amazing. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that she is indeed the person that, you know, a fan such as myself would believe her to be. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's very awesome. My brother, I know you got a follow-up question for that Mission Pro tag team. So hit him with it.
Oh man, I mean, I feel like in terms of that and in terms of like your style, you mentioned Thunder Rosa and her aggressiveness and her ruthlessness. When I watch y'all ladies and I saw y'all how y'all won those tag team matches, where do you ladies get your influences from? How do you ladies what do you ladies try to do or emulate your tag team style from?
Wow, that's really
That's-
kind of hard because I feel like at least me personally, I don't try to mimic anybody. I mean,
Right.
I will say my very favorite female wrestler of all time is Sasha Banks. So a lot of the moves that I use are from her moveset, but I feel like the way that I wrestle and how aggressive I am isn't necessarily from anybody. I mean, the only person that I've ever seen really kind of match our aggressiveness is Thunder.
Yeah.
And we definitely didn't when we first started watching wrestling, we had no idea what the indies were.
Yeah.
So I feel like me personally, I was very feisty as a kid. I like to get in fights. And I feel like that's where it kind of comes from. Our coach always told us, QT Marshall, he always told us that always it's simulated combat. Yes, it's fake, but it's not, you know? So
It's
Yeah,
fake to an
absolutely
extent.
not.
so like treat it like it's real.
Right.
So me personally, I try really hard to treat it like it's real.
Yeah.
I could personally say I love the little Joker thing you guys do when you're always like telling the girl like you dig and you tell them
Like,
to smile,
oh,
smile.
yeah.
Yeah, I love
That was something
personally.
that we actually pulled from Hulk Hogan.
Whoa,
Watching some of his
okay.
old stuff. and you put them in the camel clutch, and you grab their face, and you just and Robyn fell in love with that. Robyn was like, I don't see anybody doing that.
I was gonna say I think I've only ever seen him do it maybe once or twice in his matches.
If we had to emulate a style of wrestling, like new or old school, it's more old school than it is new school for sure. Your cat just wants to be in the camera, man.
I know. I'm probably just gonna hold him for the duration of the show.
Hey, I get it. But yeah, we work more old school than we do new school. Not that we can't work like our high spots and do the stuff off the top ropes, but that's not really us. It's more just being a cohesive team and coming out and letting people know, hey, we are not two women to be messed with. If I have to pick someone, I can pick 3 women that I want to match together and like emulate that. Becky Lynch with her confidence. I love Charlotte Flair and her confidence and just the way she works.
She's a technical wrestler. She's a technical beast.
Yes. And then you have Rhea Ripley, who her look, like, I one day designed a set of gear. I was so excited about this gear. I made a set of gear, realized, I was like, that looks real familiar. I showed it to Robyn. I showed it to my dad. I showed it to my mom. They all looked at me and they go, Rhea Ripley wears that.
Like that exact design.
Like that almost that
man.
design. And I had pulled it straight out of my head. And I was like, what? But then I ended up getting a set of gear made that was her Mae Young gear. Like I took her pants and I was like, I'm stealing your pants, Rhea. Like I'll change the top, but I like the pants, so I'm stealing them. But it ended up not working out. And so hopefully one day I will have a set of gear that's similar to Rhea Ripley's gear. But as of now, no.
That's awesome. I mean, her look has changed so much too from NXT like UK to now as well. So I mean, who knows what she's gonna bust out next, and maybe that's it. Then you'll be the only one looking like she. You know,
hey, true. I don't have the short blonde
looks
hair,
changed, the business
or the muscles.
She dyed it lately. Yeah, it's black now. Yeah, her hair's
I could have sworn. Is it
No,
black
I
now?
could have sworn no. It's
I
like
think
blonde.
so.
with, like,
It's still
spray,
like blonde with some like black streaks in it.
I was
There
gonna
you
say,
go.
I know that like she just dyed it recently. It just changed. I remember thinking, oh wow, you look good. Like you look real different.
That's awesome. So I know he asked you guys about being the first ever Mission Pro Tag Champs, but what's it like? Like you ladies don't just hold the one title. You guys are the first ever for Capital Championship
It's
Wrestling.
nothing like the first.
This is insane. You know, like you guys are carrying the first for two different companies. What's that feel like?
Right.
For me personally, and I know we talked about this before, when we got those belts, Robyn and I had never touched a belt. We had one little belt here at the Nightmare Factory when we first started that we called the baby belt because it was so small. And
It was a belt that when the school first started, QT used to run. I think it was only one. It was a special needs kid, and he asked for a wrestling birthday party at the facility. So QT did the whole deal, bought a belt, did a whole thing for it. so
it was
the little
this
baby
teeny
belt
tiny
was
belt. It was little, but that was the only one that we had ever held, and we held that 2.5, almost 3 years ago at this point. And so when we got these new belts, the first one, I didn't know how to hold it. I didn't know how to hold one, let alone two. I know Robyn knew more. She was like, have you never watched wrestling? Like, do you not know how to hold your belt? And I was like, obviously not. Please teach me. So she's teaching me how to hold the belt. Then we're both trying to figure out, hey, what are we doing for entrances? How am I going to hold these? I remember the first time Robyn and I go to hit the corners at Mission Pro. It was the worst thing ever. I'm like,
slipped.
I couldn't get up. Yeah, we were struggling with these belts. We're trying to hold them and get up there at the same time. It's not working. I realized I was like, I'm going to have to lay this down on the top turnbuckle and try to get up here unless I'm wearing it. And then, like, I know everybody, like, WWE, they're all like, wow, they got the Velcro. As a champ, I want that Velcro.
Oh, yeah. I thought about that. I really hated it until we got our first belts with buttons on them. And then I was like, can we please get rid of the buttons and give me some Velcro?
Yeah, I was like, you just
Really?
the Velcro
So
on.
stiff.
It's
Really?
So stiff, isn't it? You get like caught.
It's so hard to button them. And then like Charlotte and I put them on as the last thing that we do. Because it's just so hard, especially when you have brand new ones that like have never been worn or never
they're not
broken
in.
You're trying for 5 minutes to like button
Click,
these
click, click,
things,
click.
and it's just not working. It's so hard.
And you think you get it clicked, but it falls off, and you're like,
I remember the first time we went out with both belts. Charlotte put it on my put the Mission Pro around my waist, and been like getting in the ring, stepping through the ropes, it popped off. And I was like, I don't know.
Oh, why?
It popped off, and I didn't know what
Just
to
like
do. And
mid
I was like,
entrance, it's just like
Pick it up.
yeah, we're just gonna have to figure that out. But I mean,
judgment call.
outside of like just the struggle of trying to like wear the
them.
belts, I feel like
it's an honor.
it's crazy how much like things have changed. The way people look at us have changed. The expectation of our matches and the quality that we give, and even like our backstage presence, it's changed. Our expectations are way higher, and it's a lot of pressure, kind of.
Yeah, I don't think we fully understand how much responsibility we now hold. We know it's a lot, but I don't think we're going to understand for a very long time just how important being inaugural champions of 2 different shows is. Like, yes, we are aware it's a huge thing, and it's an honor.
I'm sure you are. I mean, it's Thunder Rosa. I mean, other people just saying, hey, like, we believe in you guys enough to be the first. Not even like, especially like you said, there are some veterans, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are some veterans backstage with a lot of those things that they could have just been like, hey, you know, you guys pair up and hold this down for a bit. So that's awesome for sure.
Oh, yeah. It's an honor, to be honest. It's
really is.
wild. It's an honor. It's stressful. It's
There's a lot of
Amazing.
All
ways.
of the emotions.
Yeah.
It makes you feel all the emotions. But I do remember when we won them, like thinking when we won our Mission Pro belts, we bawled. Like we were crying. And I never understood like watching people win their belts and then watching them cry. I never understood because as a fan of wrestling, and a lot of people think this, a lot of fans think it. They're like, it's a fake title. You didn't really win anything. All of wrestling's fake.
Backstage, right?
Listen,
But
I'm not that
backstage,
fan.
that means something.
no,
It means
backstage,
someone said, hey,
right.
I think you're good enough to put my titles on, and you're the face of my company now. And
Right.
especially with, especially CCW, we are the first tag team champions, but we are the first crown champions in that building as the women on that
they
show.
haven't even completed their
Nope.
their women's championship tournament yet.
No.
And so it means so much, and it holds such a heavy weight.
Oh yeah, it was super emotional. Our Mission Pro titles. It was there was a lot going into it. That night we had also wrestled a battle royal, and then we had some things going on in the next match after that.
Yep.
So we had wrestled basically 3 matches that night, and when it all came said and done, we sat down, especially in the ring, in the middle of the ring when it all was said and done. It was 1, 2, 3. And we got the belts. There's a picture of me on my Instagram just holding the belt and crying. And it was just such a surreal thing that we were sitting here at one of the biggest promotions that we could
For women.
right, for women, and that we have ever been on, and they've put their titles on us. And the crowd was all for it. There's
They loved it.
streamers being thrown into the ring. It was
I
crazy.
know.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Oh man, I was watching the match over. I was like, there was a point where you guys gotta stop throwing the streamers so we can start the match.
Dude.
The match.
When I tell you,
Yep.
some fan tried to hit me with that thing.
Yeah,
They
no,
put
no.
one that was rolled up, and they
Yeah.
tucked the piece of paper, the end, inside the roll, so it
Uh-huh.
wouldn't unravel when they threw it. And they tried to hit me, and it goes flying past my face. And that's the moment when you saw me get really upset. That I was like,
Yeah.
"Yo!" And I almost turned around and was like, "Who wants it? Who wants it?" Because I swear to God, I will throw it at your face. I don't care. We used to play softball too, so I got a cannon. I'm not just throwing. You know what I mean? I'm not just eh. I'm throwing
heat,
it.
she said.
I was
I'm throwing
mad,
heat
y'all.
at your face.
Oh, she's gonna beam somebody. Oh yeah.
I was like, y'all better be glad that didn't hit me, because I'd be out of this ring so quick.
Yeah,
I'd be
we were
boom, throw the match out. No match tonight.
we were
Yeah.
told after that match to no sell the streamers.
They're like, don't ever sell the streamers. We're like, okay.
They're like, no sell the streamers. Just
You
no
guys
sell the
definitely
streamers.
no sold the streamers though. You guys wanted no parts. You're like, what the fuck is with the streamers?
Exactly.
Right.
I was like, why?
That's
I was
just
cool.
so
I
that's
did
just
the first
that's
couple,
a big
but then
New
there was a
Japan
point.
thing too. That's like a very big thing in Japan as well. It's like for the wrestler that you favor, you're throwing in the streamers.
You're throwing the
to show your love and
streamers,
support
right?
For them. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, you see them too. They kick it, and they're like, "Come on, like get out of here."
Come on, man.
Especially,
I just want to wrestle.
Well, it's always been like a dream of mine. I don't know about you, Charlotte, but it's always been a dream of mine, especially from seeing like ROH, where they just throw the streamers in. And I will say ROH was our very first time ever being at an indie show backstage. Mandy Leon, the first time that we ever came to the Power Factory. We came for a student showcase that they had. And we met Mandy Leon, and she brought us backstage at Ring of Honor the very next day. And it was kind of our first time ever being at an actual indie show.
And I don't really consider Ring of Honor an indie show. Like I'll say that was like that was our first big promotion that we got to go to
That's
backstage
my
where they
I
were.
love Ring of Honor. I'm
I
so
was
gonna
excited
say,
by
like-
what's happening right now with it. It's like,
Yep.
I mean, I'm so happy Jay Lethal like signed to AEW. Good for him. Like you've been great, but like to me, it's just like Honor Club. Honor is forever. You know, like
Yeah.
that's where everybody came from. Like if you're watching WWE right now, especially like a lot of these names, and you know, not to discredit what they're doing in WWE currently, because a lot of these people had either had one of the best runs for WWE, you know, or built themselves into that. But Adam Cole, you know, Bryan Danielson, Tyler Black, who's Seth Rollins, other, you know, Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen, like Chris Hero, other people, like I could run, and God knows, Parrish knows, I love the Briscoes. Like there's just so many amazing things that have come from Ring of Honor that is in these major companies, and I'm so happy for it. Plus, we all know, and I've said this 1,000 times, the just what Ring of Honor contributed to the birth of AEW with All In. It's just, you know, it can never be rewritten. I'm heartbroken by what's happening for them, but I wish every single person who wrestles for Ring of Honor a furiously great career.
Oh yeah,
Right?
me too.
They're all great over there. Like we got the honor to meet, like at that specific show, we got an honor to meet Jeff Cobb. I didn't know not to mark out backstage. I'm like over here like, oh my God, Jeff Cobb.
Marked out.
My dad loves you.
I was gonna
Like
say, we definitely were marks.
Can I
at
get a
this point in
suplex
time.
shirt?
We definitely were marks at this point in time and definitely marked out. So
I will say this. Me and Robyn love Camille. Love Camille.
What? Really?
He was yes.
yeah, the
We
first
both
time I
loved her.
ever looked at her, I walked up to her and I said, "You look like a beautiful Amazon woman," and I love it.
And I told her, I walked up to her and said, I want to be you when I grow up. Like I
And her
wasn't
name says it, Brick House.
exactly. And I
Very much.
remember seeing her and I was just like, oh my gosh, like she is essentially what I want to be as a wrestler. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's women like her, Rhea Ripley. Like if you just look at them, at both of those ladies, they're both super big and like so strong. And I'm just like, yes, I want to be that. And I straight up told her, I want to be you when I grow up.
Sorry, I was looking at the comments.
Yeah, sorry. We had a little bot
You
get
right.
through. That
Hi,
was
my
pretty crazy.
brother.
Look at this. I feel sorry for those blonde force charm
Force
cheeks.
charm.
They just don't know. Yeah,
They
that
don't.
Okay, but they do.
I was gonna say, first off, we wrestled them at CCW
And won our belts
again-
against them.
right, and then again they want to come back to Mission Pro for a second round, like they didn't get enough the first time.
Oh wow, they want to go and
Oof.
get. They want to
So
get a
they thought-
beat down
so
at
they
two
think
different
that-
companies.
So they
Yep,
think if
two
they could-
different companies
Oh,
for two
man.
different belts.
Oof.
Yep.
All right, let's see what happens. You think
Wait a
you
minute.
ladies think
Wait
you're
a
ready to do
minute.
that?
Aren't y'all, Renegade Twins, aren't y'all undefeated in Mission Pro?
Yes, we are. We're undefeated at Mission Pro, I think, and at CCW. Yeah.
Oh my word.
Oof.
Damn.
She said, our O's ain't going. We got two O's, and you can't take
That's a
them.
fact.
Exactly.
Oof. That's why we the
Donuts.
champ, and
There
also
you
the
go.
Royal Belt champs.
Donuts.
This is champ camp.
Oh, what else did
Donuts.
Mind Runner say? Oh, look at y'all. Time to collect more tag belts. Those Impact Knockout tag titles will look nice on y'all. Ooh.
I was gonna,
Impact
Inspiration.
titles,
I was
NWA
gonna get
titles.
to that. Right,
I
ladies.
was gonna
Like
say, let's talk about Hex. Let's talk about the inspiration. Let's talk about all of them. Okay.
y'all
we
are on
actually-
a gold rush right now. Yeah. So what are y'all feeling? Like where do y'all feel like the Renegades will end up next?
So this past weekend at WrestleCade, we had the honor to wrestle at WrestleCade, which we never thought in a million years we'd ever be there with all the big names that were there. And we set up our merch table. We look up, Hex, right across from us. Like,
Mm.
now come on. We got our 4 belts. They got their 4 belts, and all of a sudden it's a screaming match. And the security's like running in there thinking everybody's fighting. And we're like, hey, man, we're just screaming at each other. I'm telling them, like, we're about to whoop y'all's butt.
I was
Like,
going to say, one of these days.
Y'all ready to hold
Take it all.
belt.
Yep.
Take
We
it
actually
all.
have a video of the entire thing. One of the fans got a video of it. So sooner or later, we're going to drop that. And we're going to have to at Mickey James and NWA and say, we got to get that going. We got to get that going.
Yeah, you definitely do. Definitely do. I mean, Allison K is definitely coming off that loss too recently to Sky Blue for that belt as well. So, you know, maybe you guys got the extra juice you need with her taking a few L's recently.
We got it. We got it. We can handle them. We can handle them.
Awesome.
I have to ask
you guys already
Marshawn.
told us you guys are coached by QT Marshall. So when did you guys begin training for pro wrestling?
What was it?
we started training on February 18th, 2019. She's always so shocked when I throw these dates out in podcasts. I'm not sure why.
Because I don't.
And I can also remember the date of the very first school show we had. That was January 11th, 2019. I can tell you the date of literally January 12th, 2019. That was that Ring of Honor show at Sarah State.
You're tripping.
I remember all of these dates, y'all. Like I will never forget when I first started wrestling.
It meant something to you.
I love it. You're
right.
right. You gotta remember the dates. You gotta remember the date.
It wasn't for you. You just must operate at a different speed.
I was gonna say, man, Robyn's like, I've never been able to. That's another thing about me. I've never been able to remember any dates ever.
And I love
Like,
history. I can remember anything.
How like everybody has those couples have like your anniversaries. When I'm with somebody, I don't have an anniversary. There's no anniversary. I'm not gonna remember.
I'm not gonna remember.
Hey, Robyn, hey, you just here for the moment, right?
Yeah, I'm
Just here for just riding on the
He's
moment.
like, I'm just here for the ride, man. I enjoy your time.
I enjoy the ride. I enjoy the moments. That's it.
Oh,
I
man,
definitely cannot blame you on that one.
That is funny. Oh, we got an angry react. Who reacted angrily? Who's sad? Who's mad? It's probably one of those blonde horse comment chicks you were talking about, huh?
Probably.
Oh, we got another question from Mind Runner. What we got is Kat Spencer, the Renegade's enforcer. What we see her in Mrs. Pro. Seriously, we've been seeing you guys go around with her. We even saw her do old girl dirty not too long ago in the garage.
Yep.
I couldn't believe they made you guys get your own belts.
That man.
Yo.
So that reaction was a legit reaction. My face
that felt so real. I was like, yo.
It was a legit reaction because at one point I looked at her and I said, okay, go get my belt. Like it was a joke. Like I was kayfabing it there and I was like, go get our belts. And the ref just stood there and he just looked at me. And I was like, go get the belts. Why are you just standing here? So then he gets out of the ring and he just walks away. And I was like, okay.
We're like, dude, definitely did just tell you to go get our belts. I know they're like 5 feet right there. You could just bring them back. But he never did.
We played that off.
Boy, oh boy.
I was like,
but about Kat Spencer. Yes, at CCW, Kat Spencer is our muscle. She's our enforcer. We have a match this upcoming Saturday.
Yes.
December the 4th at CCW. You can watch it on Title Match Network live and then catch the replay later.
Or better yet, just show up in Delaware.
Exactly.
Houston, Delaware.
But if you're not,
exact.
I was going to say, but if you're not in the area, Title Match is your best shot. But we have a match against Mother Endless, Kayla Sparks, and Gabby. And, Mother Endless wants us to let the pit bull off the leash. So
she better choose the words carefully.
Be
careful what you wish for, boo-boo.
She said, we got the muscle.
Yes,
you want us to release the muscle, but we got the muscle.
Yep.
We'll let it go when it's ready. I hear that. When it's time to take the other 2 titles and carry around 4, maybe then you let it loose.
There it is.
Oh, yeah. But we do have a 6-man tag this weekend, so y'all check that out. See Kat Spencer do her thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Feel impressed. I know for that for sure.
Absolutely. So, we talked a little bit about how your favorite male wrestler is Randy Orton. Obviously, we know Roman Reigns. We don't even got to ask the question. We heard the story. We know what's up. Everybody knows what's up. Guys, if you guys are watching, you know what's up. Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, we spoke about that. So let's talk about female wrestlers. Who's your favorite female wrestler?
Oh, Robyn just said Sasha Banks.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Robyn
I
answered
was
that
gonna say,
question.
I feel like I don't even have to answer that question.
I feel like I've dropped hints as to who mine is, but I haven't just outright said Rhea
No,
Ripley.
because you said you would mesh 3.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
you-
I can't even pick. There's like 4 women really right
All
now that I'm like,
0.
I love them all. Oh my God, no, 5. I'm a liar.
He's a liar,
I know. I got
everybody.
Hey, there's
Bianca
not- hey.
Belair.
There's not 2. There's not 3.
There's
There's
nothing
not
wrong
a
with
lot.
that.
A handful
There's
of in your face.
Give me 5,
She's gonna
right?
smack you with them.
I love
What
Rhea
5 wrestlers
Ripley,
say to the face?
Charlotte Flair. I love Bianca Belair.
Don't look at me.
shoot,
Don't look
shoot.
at me. I know.
Let me get them out of my brain. The one Shayna Baszler. I was gonna say the one everybody says they look
yes.
like. And Becky Lynch. Those women right there, like, I will mark out for all the time. Robyn knows.
I was gonna
Charlotte
say-
Flair, not so much. I enjoy her from like a working standpoint. Not so much as a mark. I think she does her job too well. Like, I don't like her. But yeah, if I had to pick some women, it'd be Bianca, Rhea, Becky Lynch, and Shayna Baszler. Those 4 women come on the TV, my eyes are glued.
I was gonna say, I mean, I remember growing up and like, well, not really growing up because we didn't watch wrestling growing up, but when we first started watching wrestling, Charlotte loving Becky Lynch. That was her first love. And I fell in love with Sasha Banks from the get-go. I loved her look, her attitude, her moveset. Like, the fact she comes out there with all this attitude. When I think of a wrestler that I want to be and like a character-wise, I think Sasha Banks.
Becky Lynch for me.
I want to be the shit talker, the snapper, the neck, this is me. You know what I'm saying? The I'm so confident that you can't even step to me kind of deal. And that's who she is, and I love it.
Absolutely. I mean, her thing. She is the boss. She is it. There's nothing past it. I remember when she took her time off, and she was and this is like long ago because I've probably been off of social media outside of the show for quite some time, but I remember she took some time off a few years back. She was doing the Kendrick Lamar "To Pimp a Butterfly" lyrics on all her posts, you know, and then everything was "Thanks, Daddy Vince. Thanks for this, Daddy." You know, oh my God, I was dying. She was just like,
Yep, I remember that.
Oh my God, and from that moment, because I won't lie to you, prior to that, like through everything on NXT and stuff, I thought she was a great wrestler, but like I wasn't her fan. You know, I won't lie. I definitely would not have marked out. I wouldn't even pop. You know what I mean? But after like that whole thing and then like her return, I was like, you know what? I see it. I see what everybody's been trying to convince me of for years. I see what it is now, you know? So she definitely like brought me around and it took a minute. But like I think if she could have got somebody who's as invested in pro wrestling as I am to like come around on their opinion, like the world.
I will say that red-haired Sasha was okay.
Oh, do you prefer red hair over blue hair, Sasha?
No, I want blue-haired Sasha. The blueprint is where it's at. Okay.
Right. Okay.
The blue,
all right,
holding down the blue brand.
The blueprint. But I will say that red-haired Sasha, she was really good. But I can totally understand where someone could say, "Not my shtick." I don't really like it. I can understand. She was very I don't want to say she lacked confidence because she didn't lack confidence. I don't know what exactly it is. From NXT to Raw or SmackDown, it's like different eras for her. So like NXT, she was a completely different character. She was still herself, but her character was amped up to like 11. And now on like Raw and SmackDown, she's found a way to keep her energy at an 11, but do just enough character that it's not over the top where I don't look at her and I'm thinking, dang, I really just want to punch you in your face right now. You know, and like I feel like there was some things that she did in NXT that made me feel that way.
All that sass she got. Oh my God. Sometimes just, she kills it. Honestly, she really does. I'm like sitting here thinking, and obviously you can see I'm like processing in my head. Like, so while I'm processing in my head, we actually do have a great question for you ladies on the
dream match, even if it's in a singles competition.
Oh,
So I will say our dream match as a
To
tag
wrestle
team.
in, or like just if we have to pick two wrestlers to be apart, like to wrestle each other, or like a tag team type thing.
How about
That's
we
my
answer
question.
both? How about we answer
Okay.
both?
I'll say,
I will
yeah.
say
I watched my dream match happen live NXT house show here in Atlanta. It's actually the show that got us into wrestling. We
is
walked
true.
outside. This guy was like, "Hey, come to my school." Back when the Nightmare Factory was One Fall Power Factory, and that's where we essentially were like, "Oh shoot, this is real. We can actually do this right now." Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. I've told you I love these two women.
Yep.
Me and my dad sat there.
marked out the
We
entire
marked
time.
out the whole time, and I'm sitting there, and it's so hard to watch because I love both of these women. So for me, Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley as two other people. If I had to pick, let me think about myself. But
I feel like our tag team
team
is super easy. It's
Twisted Sisters versus the Twins.
yeah. Anytime we can get that match going, we can do that. We've said this about the third time in 3 interviews. So there's that. Do you need your charger?
No, I think I need my charger. I'm afraid my phone's gonna die.
Wow, turn the camera back on, girl.
It's coming. I think my phone's gonna die.
Oh no,
That's not
Oh.
good.
that's not at all.
Not
So
good, and you
unprepared.
need it. You need it after training too. What are we rocking with? What do we think? We got like another 5'10" or
Maybe if you give me 2 seconds, I can go get a charger.
absolutely. Do
Oh,
what you
that's
gotta
like
do.
2 seconds.
Okay, sorry,
Yeah,
y'all.
no,
I'll be right
yeah,
back.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Robyn, entertain our.
Okay, I was gonna say, well, I can give you my answers while she's gone. I would say that my dream match for me personally, like I've always said, Sasha Banks. I think that we and her could literally go back and forth just because we're so similar in the way that we wrestle and the way that like our character is. I feel like that'd be dope. If it wasn't Sasha Banks though, that's really hard. I would probably say I can't say Thunder because I already wrestled her at AEW, so can't say
Yeah.
Thunder. Let's see. It would probably be Britt Baker. I feel like that would be really fun. It would be a really fun match.
like
Really
that.
tit for tat.
We can't say
Right.
the Britt Baker without saying the DMD.
DMD.
We cannot. That's it. We cannot. We got to put the respect on that name too.
Hey man,
Well earned, well
Is anybody
deserved.
up there with Thunder Rosa?
Oh yes,
Gotta
yes, she
give it
is.
to the, you got to give it to the doctor.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Two of the best women's wrestlers. They both belong. They are both in AEW. If you ask me.
They are.
Absolutely.
They're both amazing. They're so amazing, and both of them are amazing people. So it
I
just makes
can
sense.
say, for me right now, just kind of like hearing your guys' answers and hearing your guys' responses, you guys are so like of the new school of wrestling that it's like
Wow.
it's so intriguing to hear. That's why like I love this show because our thing is it's a different perspective, right? So like everybody that comes onto the show really brings a different perspective to what got them here, why they're training for this, who they want to be, why they want to hold the belts that they hold, and what legacy they want to leave behind. So it's so interesting because you're the first out of the people we've spoken to thus far to like you two are the first to be like it's been 2018 like something as soon as that to be like
Right, very
hey,
recent.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
that's
so
another
awesome.
thing that like
That's so awesome because it's like it's so recent.
most people don't think that way.
What?
Well,
Most
because
people,
the
especially
hate that this generation gets.
Right. Well, most people, especially in wrestling, they expect you to know your history. And Charlotte and I know our history. If you were to ask us questions, I don't know if we could definitely don't quote us on anything that we say. But we try to keep up, you know. But we also, like I said, we started watching wrestling about 5-6 years ago. And honestly, me personally, I'm super like grateful that we didn't start watching wrestling before then because it was hard. Like watching women's wrestling on WWE was
I would have never wrestled had I watched wrestling back then.
no.
I
can say for sure there
Oh,
was a
no.
time.
Goodness.
It's all right. It's all
So
right.
sorry, guys.
You're good.
It's all good.
You're
It's all
good.
good. I'm actually gonna put up a comment that was addressed to Charlette's response and to the dream match. But in regards to that, like there was a time where it was watchable. I feel like, you know, with Lita, Trish, you know, Mickey coming in with Mickey coming in with the crazy fan gimmick. Oh my!
I think
God.
that flipped the script almost.
Oh, yeah, it
Oh my
did.
God! As like
Very
a
much.
young, I was like a young boy, you know what I mean? And like seeing that, I was loving it. I was like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like, is this really what it's like? Like, oh my God! And then it really dipped off for quite some time, you know, like after Victoria left and on all those, Mickey and just kind of like just the way it really went. It went from like more than 10-minute matches. Probably wasn't really. It was probably like the whole segment as a whole, as opposed to the match. So like really noticeably short segments and matches. It was pretty atrocious. And then kind of them where they're back at to now. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
obviously, I call WWE the Feds when I talk about them on this.
That's okay.
It's okay.
We know the Fed.
We've been known to call them the Fed too. I don't think it's a bad name.
Man.
So the Feds, they're so hit or miss with what they're gonna give the women each week, you know. So it's nice to see other promotions like CCW, like Mission Pro, like AEW, like NWA, especially right now, like Impact, like Ring of Honor, just kind of give the women more of a show. You know, like this, like because honestly, if you guys really train the same, do the same, what's to say your guys' matches are not the same quality? So I love women's wrestling.
If not better.
One of my favorite matches are women's matches. So
if not better.
I was gonna say, I will say one of my favorite things that Thunder does at her shows is we have a men's exhibition match. Most shows have a women's exhibition match. I love that she has like just flipped the script and said, "We are the show, and you guys are the attraction."
Yeah,
and
I love it.
They have their commentators like talk about that too sometimes. Where like Sam Laterna, she said at the last show, she said it's refreshing to see the men have to come out and work like these women have had to work for so many years to make a name for themselves and to try to be over when there's no opportunity for them on a men's card.
I was gonna say, I mean, Mission Pro, like the men's match is pretty competitive.
Oh yeah, JP Harlow.
Well, not even like working in the match, like to wrestle the match, to get to the match. It's so kind of like competitive. It's one person. JP always has the match, which is great because he's always there and he's so good. But that means you now have one spot that like all these men want. And you should want it. It's Mission Pro. But now they have to work and they have to legitimately compete for it. They have training and seminars before every show. So like they come in and they have the men and the women all train together, and then they'll pick from the seminar who's going to work that match. Damn. And the fact that like men have to do that and basically try out to be at Mission Pro, it's wild.
This is a funny one. JP Holland's first Taco Bell.
That Taco Bell is authentic Mexican cuisine.
I know, I'm sorry, but he told me it was authentic. And he also told me
his regular order is 3 soft shell tacos,
just meat and cheese.
So,
oh man,
if you haven't seen JP Harlow's promo, go check it out.
It's so good.
He has a match upcoming against Thunder Rosa and her son.
Cut the check, Taco Bell. Send the check.
Facts.
Send it.
Yes.
Overnight it.
Sponsor JP Harlow at Taco Bell, please.
So good. Okay, look, I'm just gonna say this.
Guys to do
we have another great question. Heel or face?
Heel or face.
Are we heel or face?
No.
What would you prefer?
They have to watch you guys to figure that one out. If you
I was gonna say,
if they heel or face, you gotta watch them and figure that out.
Well,
do you prefer the heel or do you prefer the face?
Okay.
Well, I am definitely a heel lover. Randy Orton's my favorite. Becky Lynch, you know, I feel like she's a tweener, but she can go both ways. So like heels for me, definitely.
I feel like
heel all the way.
Are the anti-hero right now more than I mean, Randy at one point was the heel. The Legend Killer was the heel. Mm-hmm. Oh my God! I remember when he had like the broken arm and the Survivor Series. They did the promo. He's coming back soon, and then when he came back as the Legend Killer, and like did all that, it was. Whew.
Oh yeah, freaking love
great
him.
for business. Great for business. I know you ladies are at training and you guys have more things to get to, so we're kind of gonna get to the last few questions. Kind of wrap it up, guys. On the interwebs, everywhere watching us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. Thank you guys so much for your comments. We're just gonna kind of just get to the last 3 questions we have, and then we're gonna let these ladies go about their day. We know they say they just got some big stuff going on. So Since we talked about you guys being a little bit of the new school, right, while you were gone, Charlotte, that's something I was mentioning to Robyn, just how it's like kind of refreshing and different to just hear that you guys are, you know, a fan of the newer school of wrestling, and kind of that's what did it for you to become professional wrestlers. I heard you say SummerSlam either 28, you said 2018, and you had mentioned WrestleMania 18 or 19. But what can you guys say is your favorite pay-per-view of all time that you've watched?
I would say
It doesn't need to be WWE. It can be anywhere, anything.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've never really thought outside of like WWE. I mean,
Yeah.
All Out was a fantastic pay-per-view, don't get me wrong. But if I had to pick like one pay-per-view that I'm going to watch every single year, it's probably going to be the Royal Rumble.
I really enjoy the Crown Jewel stuff.
Oh,
yeah, I know that's
really okay. Wow,
Oh.
that's new. This is new. Okay, yeah, I wasn't expecting that either.
Nobody ever says it. But I think it's so cool that especially like when they had the women's match, like the very first women's match over there.
Very monumental.
That was history being made, and I feel like there is more room for history to be made in those in that specific like pay-per-view, you know what I mean? And I think it's very important, and I love that we can go across the world and show people, hey, we love doing this enough to come over here and say, I don't care if I have to wear a t-shirt that I don't really want to wear because it's not my gimmick. I don't care, like I have to cover up my body, but they love the sport so much that they're like, yes, let's do this. And same with the men. And people over there eat it up. They love it.
It's well, the thing for that, I feel like they have like a super unfair advantage for the fact that they're only going out there once or twice a year, and everybody who's in attendance has obviously, besides like obviously it's that way when you're in a touring show. I'm a stagehand, so I set up the wrestling shows when they come to my area all the time. WWE I did. I've been hurt, so I didn't get to do AEW when they came to the Prudential, but I will get there soon. I know Stan, my boy, is gonna hit me, so thank you. But I definitely think it's so different with that. It's you get such a different aspect of what you guys are doing. You know what I mean? Completely. Completely. I'm marking out right now. It's so nuts. It's so nuts. I'm like, dude, it's
very much.
It's just like, as a fan and as somebody who's taken the time to like contribute to it, it's just you guys are doing it in such a different way. And you guys have had like they were doing to the Saudi Arabia thing, which was the point, just in the way that like they're coming now, and like you said, for the love of what you guys are seeing and what you guys are doing, they're willing to change themselves, like their gimmick, as opposed to like, hey, it's a t-shirt. We're still going out there to give them this art, but like the fans, they're there for you guys, you know, like at that point in time. And like that was my point. Like you go anywhere, it's that way. The fans are there for you, but it's not a thing where you're gonna have to black out a section. It's not a thing.
I was gonna say, I don't think
give out the tickets.
Yeah, I also don't think that they have a lot of wrestling out there, like live wrestling. Like it's hard to come by. So when it happens, they're like, oh yeah. This is
I
it.
mean, look at that. Mansoor is like their Undertaker, who's undefeated at Crown Jewel for them. You know what I mean? So it definitely is. But yeah, they definitely, everything's a pop for them. I mean, they made that Goldberg stuff happen that we're all trying to forget about. So, you know, it's definitely.
Cover your eyes on that one. That's probably the only blemish, but. Outside of that, I mean, Crown Jewel, like going to Saudi is.
Mine Runner agrees. Royal Rumble is the best, and
Yes,
Epic
it
Talk
is.
agrees that Randy is a beast.
Look at you.
Hey man, yes he is.
Absolutely. So we got through the pay-per-view. We talked about the dream match. What can you say is your favorite match of all time?
Oh, actually, I will say this. So I can say two matches, and they're both matches that would be nominated for best match of the year. Walter versus Dragunov. That was such a good match. When I watched that match, oh, so good. I was like, dang, Dragunov is getting his butt handed to him. And then I know Robyn's gonna say the same thing.
I was gonna say, don't take my answer.
No. But I will say,
Don't take my answer.
I'm
Let me
not.
say my
I'll
answer.
let you say your answer, but I got something to add on at the end. I got
So
something.
I'll
Let me
let
say my
her
answer
answer
then
first.
I'll let you finish first. Right.
So my favorite match of all time would be Thunder versus Britt.
Sure, yeah.
But
I
the
was about to-
only reason is because it's such a like life-changing thing. It was career-changing for not only them but women's wrestling in general.
They
You've
made
never
history.
seen a match like that
First
on TV
unsanctioned,
by
right.
women. You've never
Right.
seen that.
I
Lights
didn't
out,
watch it
unsanctioned.
when it was live. I watched it 2 days after, and everybody had told me, they were like, "You need to watch it. You need to watch it. You need to watch it." And I
You're bugging.
just hadn't gotten around to it. So when someone was like, "You need to watch it," like make it a point to go home and watch it, I was like, okay. So I went and I sat down at home and I watched it by myself.
That's
Like I did
homework
not
right
watch it
there,
with
yeah.
anybody because I knew how everybody was talking about it. I was like, there's a chance that I'm gonna cry. I cried, y'all. I cried. I care about this, like, I care about women's wrestling so much. I care about wrestling, but women's wrestling, I'm so passionate about it. And so is Robyn, that I watched this and I watched these women make history. And it was such a changing moment in the way of women's wrestling.
It raised the bar.
It
It
did.
changed the standard.
And
Very
so
much.
for me, those two women made history. And I went straight to Thunder Rosa the next time I saw her and I said, thank you for that. I said, thank you, because you have made history and you have changed the game for women. I said, that is something nobody's ever seen. And I told her, I was like, I cried. I cried like a baby.
It ain't even need to be sanctioned.
It didn't even need to be
It
sanctioned.
didn't even need to be
It didn't even need to be
sanctioned.
sanctioned. That match
Real
was
life.
over before. That match was over
Right.
before it was even announced. That match
Right.
was, you know what I mean? That match was so over before it was even announced. You didn't even need to see the match to know that shit was great.
Oh,
You know
right?
what I mean? You didn't, just because the names that were mentioned, you know. But Thunder, and I think this has been, and this might be, I feel like, the best way to probably end this interview for sure. Thunder, anywhere she has gone, anything she has done, whoever she's worked with, you guys spoke about it, she lifts it. She lifts it. She elevates it. She brings it to a whole nother level. And to me, the Britt Baker Thunder Rosa Lights Out Unsanctioned match was the changing of the guard for the AEW Women's Division 2, because it went from, you know, the more Joshi style that they were really showing with Kenny pushing that and stuff with Riho and then Hikaru Shida and everything, just to now you're starting to see, all right, this is, we're getting to where we want to go. You know, like you're getting where we want to go. And like you said, just kind of like for you guys being the double champions, there is, you know, the champs inaugurally for both these places, there's a change in the quality of the match you're going to put out. And you know, like you were saying, like when you were seeing it, oh, it was fake. But now you guys are on the other side. You know the bumps are real. You know the risks are real. You know what's happening. The storytelling, if you missed, if you slipped, if you took an extra second, that, oh my God, everybody's seeing this.
Yeah.
You know, and this is me. This is my livelihood, mine in the forefront. Like Thunder really right now to me is the pinnacle for women's wrestling. And that may be a bold statement to make, but
No, sir.
I don't
Absolutely.
think there is a better woman in professional wrestling or for professional wrestling currently than Thunder Rosa. And I'm very happy for you ladies to be able to helm her, you know, at Mission Pro, and to be able to helm CCW. And, you know, I'm looking forward to what it is you ladies put out there in the coming future. You never know. You could be AEW, it could be Impact, it could be the return of Ring of Honor, it could be
I'm calling it right now.
it could be the
AEW.
Feds.
I am usually a Nostradamus when it comes to these things. in the
MLW with
penthouse.
open door.
I very much do believe the Renegade Twins will be the first AEW Women's Tag Team Champions.
Oh wow, we're shooting high.
I like
I-
it. Okay.
I'm calling it right now as I see it.
I was gonna say
We would love that. I
I
mean,
would
that
love
would be
that,
great.
but right now it's looking like TJ all the way. You know what I mean?
Nah, yeah, I get that. And you know what?
know.
The crazy
I
thing,
don't
I
know.
was gonna bring up the
They kinda
individual.
squashed Anna.
I was gonna bring up the individual matches you two had with Ty Conti back in like around July and August. And I just want to ask you, like, how, like, I know y'all have both like acknowledged the growth that y'all have had since then, but like, can y'all just elaborate on that if y'all want to in the last few minutes?
I mean, she was fantastic.
Yeah, I loved her.
I loved working her, and like, I wasn't nervous. I wasn't.
I was.
Yes, we do need that.
We
Yes,
do need that, actually.
But I
Here
mean,
for
I
it.
loved it. I
For
wasn't
the belts.
nervous. I was nervous about, like, obviously I was on a platform that was huge, but I mean, I wasn't nervous wrestling her. I had a feeling that she got me. There was one thing that happened in the match where I just didn't understand. I forgot, and she grabbed me and she pulled me in, and she goes, "Hey, we're doing this," and I was like, "Okay, I get it." But I mean, I had a great time. I had so much fun, and it was an honor to even be in the ring with her.
I enjoyed my match. I enjoyed every minute of it. I was nervous, not that she was gonna hurt me or anything like that. I was more nervous about my performance, and of course, I had Thunder Rosa commentating my match in the back of the room. So I'm.
Did you really?
Yes, she was on Spanish commentary, and I was so nervous for her to watch that match. Because I knew she was gonna come back and be very brutally honest with me if it was not great. But as far as Ty Conti goes, I was super excited to work with her. We had Dustin as our agent, and that was awesome too. I think they're both amazing people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What? I can't even say anything better about
Yeah,
Ty
I
Conti.
mean,
she's a great person. She's fun. She's sweet.
Yeah, she was probably one of the easiest women that like I've ever worked with. And
Nyla Rose was pretty good too.
Yeah, Nyla Rose was pretty easy.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, Nyla Rose was pretty easy. But I mean, like even Ty, that the night that I wrestled her, she came in like super late. Her flights got messed up, and she came in super late, and she literally showed up to the venue 20 minutes before we went out. And so like she came in, she got her hair and her makeup done in 5-10 minutes. We called the match, and we get out there, and we had a good time.
Yikes!
Oh, wow. Right off.
It happens that way, though.
Right.
Let's go.
Right off the plane, yeah.
Yep. Right off the plane. She literally got into the car, drove the hour there, and like our match had been pushed to the end of the card anyway, and like it was up in the air that she was even going to show up at all. So I think we were close to the end of the show, and she shows up like 2 or 3 minutes before the end of the next match. Mm-hmm. And I think we had maybe 2 or 3 matches before us, which wasn't a lot of time.
Right.
But it was fun. Like I said, I mean, it was one of the easiest matches I've ever had to call and run, and not an issue at all.
That's it. So before you ladies go, is there anything you want to tell the world and let them know?
Go follow us on social media
and get your merch.
Yes, and also buy your Renegades merch.
Oh, yep. Renegade
merch. Yes,
merch.
You can follow the Renegade Twins on Twitter at Renegade _. Okay, Renegade _twins. And on Instagram, you can follow us at Renegade.twins. If you go to either of these pages, you will find our tagged personal pages
and our email, so you can actually hit us up and get some merch. Get that merch, baby.
Yes.
Some merch.
That merch money.
It's sent some merch, by the way, to the penthouse ladies.
I was gonna say, Mind Runner, I have not forgot about you, bud. I see you out there. Yep, I see you wanting your Renegades merch. I got you, buddy.
I think we wrote his stuff down last week. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're sending them out tomorrow. So.
All right, ladies. I hope you guys had a blessed holiday. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Thanks so much for having me.
What you guys do in the future, what you guys do in the present. The Renegade Twins are going to be something bigger and better each and every time we see you guys, and we know that. So we just wish you guys be blessed. Thank you guys so much.
Catch them in Houston, Delaware this Saturday night.
There you go.
Do it.
CCW.
Yep. CCW. Actually, I was going to say, hold on.
While we're here.
Hey.
While we're here. Let's plug these beauties, okay?
Hey.
That's right.
Let's plug them.
Those are some nice belts, Don Sean.
Yo, those are beautiful belts. Those
right?
are beautiful belts. Look how big those are.
Yeah.
Look how big those are.
I know they're huge, right? Hold on, I'll show it. I'll stand up.
They're so big. They look small. They make Brian Cage look
so
small.
Big.
They'd make Brian Cage look small. They're so big.
I don't know about that one. I think Brian Cage with the belts look cute, small.
Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you guys so much for talking to
ladies. Thank you for joining us.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys.
Well, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for having us. We enjoyed every moment of it. Sorry about my charger moment again.
No, you're good. Ladies, come back soon, all right?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having us. We'll see you later.
All right.
All right, guys. That was Robyn and Charlette Renegade, the inaugural Pro Wrestling and Capital Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champions, the first ever inaugural female champs. That's something very important to everybody watching, to anybody who watches in the future. They are the first ever for 2 all-female-led promotions. That is a big, big deal. You can catch him in Houston, Delaware this Saturday, getting it on in that CCW ring.
Get you some.
Absolutely. Bro, say Polo, how do you feel, man?
I mean, Don Sean, I feel tremendous, my man. You know,
I'm gonna take this hat off. I want to process what it is. We
just had ourselves. We just had ourselves like really like two of the finer young athletes of the new generation, I must say, because when you like literally when you hear them say like when they're looking at stuff from 2018 and 2019, you're like, damn. This is like a new crop of pro wrestling, you know, and we're getting the privilege to have all of this come through the penthouse and come through our airways, man. It's a beauty to see, man. So I can't wait to see like what else we have conjured up coming up in the penthouse. We got a lot of youth and a lot of excitement.
Sorry, guys, I'm taking off my brace, but absolutely, my bro St. Polo is alluding to something phenomenal, guys. If you guys are joining us, I just want to say thank you so much to the Epic Talk on YouTube, to Mind Runner on YouTube, to my boy Daniel El Don Cassiano on Facebook, on Twitch. You guys, thank you guys so much for everybody who's commenting, who's subbed, who's subscribed, who's liked, who's loved, who's even anger faced. Thank you guys for the reactions. Make sure if you guys are joining us on Facebook to hit that thumbs up, hit that heart, hit that share button. Please, you can head over to the Talking Elite Show on Facebook, on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. We go live weekly. If you're on Twitch, guys, we're gonna start uploading all the content from Twitch onto our Twitch. So you'll have all of the 5 prelude episodes as well as our first 4 episodes. Some episodes range from an hour, some episodes range to 2.5 plus. So thank you guys so much. We are going to continue with the show. We're definitely going to keep going, guys. We had such a great talk just now with Robyn and Charlette Renegade. That was so awesome.
That was.
Yes, we are on Insta, guys. I'm going to put it up right now. You guys can look below. All of our social media is going to be up right here, guys. So our social media is right there down below for you guys. Thank you guys
social
so
media
much
cheap
for
plug.
joining us. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It's a shameless plug every single time, bro. I tell you that every
plug, my man. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing
Absolutely nothing wrong with it. My brother, there's been some insane things still continuing to conjure up around the pro wrestling and combat sports universe this weekend. Did you see a lot of this?
I have not, Don Sean, but I'm pretty sure you're going to fill me in on a majority of these things.
Absolutely. We definitely will. We still have a lot of show left, guys. Thank you again so much to the Renegade Twins. Thank you again to Robyn and Charlette. Once again, the inaugural Mission Pro Wrestling and CCW
Capital Championship Wrestling. Yes, sir.
CCW Capital Championship Wrestling. First ever female champs. Pretty awesome of them. My brother, is there anything that you feel like, you know what, now that we spoke about this with them, that you want to touch base on, or are you ready to get into the show?
I feel like we're ready to talk elite even more, my man.
Nothing better than talking elite, guys. Absolutely nothing better.
Yo, we are Don Sean, I must say, we're rolling in the penthouse, my man. We have got some things going on in the penthouse, dude.
Absolutely. As of today, and thank you again, once again. And I can't say it enough. This will be the last time, though, for sure, that I do say thank you to Robyn and Charlette currently on this episode.
Won't be the last time for me. I'll be grateful.
I'm saying I'm grateful. But I'm definitely going to continue the show because since they've left, I've done nothing but thank them. But, due to that, obviously, guys, we do have more interviews set up currently. But thank you to all of the talent and people who have reached out or responded today. We appreciate the love for sure. Our Instagram hit 100 followers today. So thank you to all 100 of you who follow us. Thank you for all the love and support. If you guys are not yet, please enter our Supreme giveaway. We are giving away a pair of Supreme Air Max 96s. Due to the lack of entrants thus far, we're going to extend it a few more days, guys, just to give everybody a fair chance and have a fair amount of entrants for this giveaway. It is a free giveaway, guys. It is a black pair. You can check it out on our Instagram. I will be indeed posting that video again. If you guys followed our story yesterday, it was on our story. I will be posting it onto our actual feed so you guys can see the shoe. Again, it is dead stock, size 10.5. Enter that giveaway.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Give somebody for Christmas. The holidays are coming, my people.
100%. So, my brother, I want to start because we know it's going to be a little bit. But let's talk about AEW to start. And let's talk about that CM Punk MJF promo. And then let's talk about yesterday's Raw response. Let's talk about yesterday's Raw response right after talking about that CM Punk and MJF promo.
Don Sean.
Two men who cannot miss.
18 minutes, truly, of a promo masterclass that took place in Chicago last week. Absolutely. I cannot. I mean, don't get me wrong. I did not expect it overall, but in its entirety, man, from start to finish, don't even matter when the match takes place. It could take place at Battle of the Belts. It could take place at Revolution. It could take place at the last Dynamite in Jacksonville on the last week of 2021. These two men have already had you hooked in 2 weeks. With CM Punk not even saying anything the first week. And then the second week, these two just going at it verbally on the stick. You don't get a lot of that in pro wrestling these days. That art form is lost. The art form is truly lost.
Not the way that they're doing it in AEW for sure.
Right, not the way they're doing it in AEW.
We know you get the scripts, but
exactly. But the way they're doing
much more raw.
And all elite wrestling, you feel the rawness. Right. No pun intended, but you feel the rawness, you feel the honesty, you feel the passion, you feel everything that needs to come out of you giving a promo. Because you got to hook, line, and sinker the crowd. Damn it, MJF and CM Punk hook, line, and sinker every single person in that Wintrust Arena last week. And everybody's sitting at home either. Because you can't tell me MJF ain't a less famous Miz. Even though he's not. I don't think he is. But still. He had you hooked with that, didn't he?
And you know what? And this is again, I speak about it every week. This is where the toxicity of the wrestling community comes in, right? This is where you start with the, look, AEW needs to mention WWE yet again. But no, it makes sense, guys. CM Punk came from WWE.
He came from there.
Last time, right? I mean, we could still say that because he was gone for 7 years.
Man, the last time
he was gone for 7 years.
The last appearance was a WWE event.
That's it. So he was still a WWE guy. Maybe he didn't get released and signed the way the current guys have, or, the way other guys have, but he was a WWE guy. It made sense to me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Even if he was held down by the US, you can't see me, man.
It was perfect, and it's crazy to say because I loved what CM Punk was saying. I didn't even need to say your name. I didn't even need to let you know that you were on my radar. I knew it would come. I knew it would happen. I knew it would happen. And look, you did it for me. I didn't even have to say a word.
So I ask you this right now, because remember what I told you a few weeks on this show, Don Sean. I said MJF's path to the world title literally begins after Full Gear.
You did.
How now going into this match against Punk? Because I'm of this mindset. I'm like, well, Jesus, who do you give this win to? Does it even affect anyone? That's what I'm like. This is the positioning we have right now when it comes to these.
So this is the thing, right? So MJF has challenged for the belt before. So
he has, yes.
So we know that they have that mindset for him.
Right.
He's not currently somebody that they're going to be like, hey, go wrestle for the TNT title. No. Right now, MJF is on a war path to the belt.
He's for the world title, yes. He's going to be their guy.
Punk has had a challenging, right? You're having tough matches with guys I've already beat, right? That was MJF's bit. But CM Punk's doing it right.
Excuse me.
He's telling his story. He's telling his story. I was gone for 7 years.
In most cases, MJF ain't meet Eddie Kingston yet. He's still got to cross that bridge. That's probably the only bridge he has to cross. But he has not crossed Eddie Kingston's hairs yet.
Well, just like Punk told him, you're not getting these wins clean. So I'm excited to see what match they come up with for these two.
Don Sean, I don't know what you're talking about. He just beat Darby Allin with a single head takeover. With a single headlock takeover. Don't know what you're talking about in terms of like not getting these wins clean, bro.
No ring.
No recollection of cheating, of any sort of cheating from Maxwell.
No ring.
No recollection of any sort of cheating from Maxwell Jacob Freeman. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, man, when you talk about that promo, man, it's the best in a long time. Just a point blank period for me. That's literally one of the best promos I've seen like in the last 5 years at least.
Absolutely.
When it comes to two men, like
100%.
literally two men in that ring, like outside of Eddie Kingston and CM Punk, I know but dude, two men who are like as box office as they can be. I'm not saying MJF I'm saying MJF is box office, and y'all may not think that, but damn it, he's putting ass in some seats, right? He's making sure y'all like.
Listen, if you don't think he's putting asses in seat, or that you're just a hater at that point, right? Just
at this stage of the game. At this stage of the game,
absolutely.
I need to show my man some respect. Salt of the earth, all right.
The salt of the
salt of the earth.
And his moniker goes with every promo and everything. He always gets it off, and he always gets it out. Better than you, and you know it.
Hey.
And it's, man, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what match they come up with.
I feel like I'm about to say right. That's what I'm saying. Like their match, you got to realize, like
it's got to mean something.
Marinating. This has been marinating for at least since CM Punk came back. You know, everybody asked for CM Punk and MJF. So now that we're on the precipice of really getting this match, it's gotta have. You're right. It's gotta mean something. I really do feel like, personally, remember they're gonna announce the rules for the Owen in 2 weeks, for the Owen Hart Cup in 2 weeks.
Yes,
I wouldn't mind. I would not mind if this is a matchup in the Owen Hart Cup.
That would be amazing if it was a first round matchup.
I would not. I look at it like this, Don Sean, because I feel like when we get to the Owen and how they describe it, we'll describe all of that on one of our future shows. But I really do feel if they have like the point system set up, damn right, this would be a hell of a first round matchup.
Yeah, if they do like the A block, B block, like the G1, like we mentioned in
exactly.
previous episode, absolutely.
Right.
But in regards to like the MJF CM Punk thing, right? So their promo was great. You know, MJF, he said what he said to go under the belt, dig deep. You know, he likes to do that. We saw it with Darby Allin.
Low hanging fruit, as CM Punk called it. Low hanging fruit.
It's not a fruit hanging low enough. Not a fruit hanging low enough. He's not gonna get to. So we know he's on that wave. But now let's talk about yesterday, right? Raw, Edge, right? And then of course, you ask and you shall receive. The Miz gets mentioned and he returns.
But no one saw The Miz coming.
Nobody.
If you had to run a program with anybody, Edge and The Miz would be the last. The Miz would be the last person I could have thought of for Edge.
Especially with all the like the interviews coming with we'd love to get something with Jeff Hardy again, or like, you know, just somebody I actually have history with.
Right.
Miz?
I'll look at it like I'll give you this, Don Sean. It's never happened before. Edge was on his way out. He was going into retirement. The Miz had, I think, a month left in his WWE Championship run when Edge was taking his leave. Now that they've come, is this full circle? Probably not. However, could this be intriguing? Probably so.
Absolutely. I mean, it really is going to start to say a lot, right? And also, I kind of understand it too, right? What better way to work the Miz back into the fold than with somebody else who's also being worked back into the fold? Two guys who both need to kind of get that hop back in the ring and get themselves back into that in-ring shape. Why not have them do it with one another? You know what I mean? They're such professionals. They're such talent. They've been around for such a long time. They know how to do their job well enough. Why not have it be them? So I could see it. I could see that aspect of it, right? the story, I'm interested in seeing where it goes. My more thing about it was just the way Edge was like, oh, you got other people using, your name on other shows for a cheap reaction, and I will say this, it definitely wasn't a cheap reaction. I felt like
hell no. You heard that crowd in Chicago pop?
they went nuts.
That wasn't no cheap reaction, my man. Like
Cheap reactions bring Goldberg back at Crown Jewel. That's a cheap reaction.
why you gotta do that? Why you gotta do that?
Well, I want to speak the facts, right? Because WWE's trying to script it now. I mean, look at what Liv Morgan did too with because of your big time contract. My two friends are gone. Like now you're starting to try and this is where again the toxicity.
Go for the jugular, bro. Go for the jugular.
Again, this is the toxicity of the community, bro. It's like now you're like, oh yeah, they're doing this because they need to put an end to it or whatever it is. But look, really and realistically, what it is, if you look at wrestling objectively, I feel like pro wrestling objectively, especially the way I do, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the wrestling. I was brought into it on WWF. I'm gonna continue to watch WWE as it goes because that's what you know what I mean? It's been my life. Ring of Honor, Impact, MLW, AEW, New Japan, NWA, GCW, all of the shows we can watch, CCW, Mission Pro Wrestling, anything you want to watch. Guys,
wrestling's at our disposal, man. There's a whole hell of a lot of wrestling.
And that's just a few. ECWA, you know what I mean? Sam Shields, legacy champion there. You have so many different places that you can go to watch.
House of Glory, my man.
House of Glory.
House of Glory, really pro wrestling, the indie scene has come back to New York with House of Glory, So shout outs to them. They have another
especially with Evolve kind of taking that step back. It was right. It was definitely a blow. But House of Glory, I mean, that's where you saw Private Party get signed, where the Young Bucks went there in the dawn of AEW, right? But my point in saying all that is there's so much great places to watch great wrestling. So if you see all these different places to watch great wrestling and you're here for the great wrestling and the storytelling and invested in what wrestling is as a whole, I think you need to look at it this way, right? What is WWE now doing? They're saying, oh, people are using other people's names for a cheap reaction. Well, now look, you're starting to cut similar style promos. You're starting to script similar style things that you're seeing from another show. You're paying attention. You acknowledging it for one of the first times is really saying now you're paying attention to what we're bringing out.
But Don Sean, they don't even need to have a script. I feel like that's the underlying gist in all of this. WWE, if you let their superstars just have some points to talk about, you ain't gonna need a script to for them to go off of. They just use that from their heart and they'll speak from their heart. I feel like that's how AEW's running it. They'll get some bullet points, but damn it, they're gonna go out there, shoot the shit, sell the crowd.
Absolutely.
That's the name of the game.
They're out there in front of the world.
Right.
Hit or miss, you know what I mean? You're either going to tank or you're going to do it.
Yeah, sink or swim. It's a sink or swim process.
If you watch Rhodes to the Top, so right, you saw with Cody Rhodes with the Anthony Ogogo promo.
With the weigh-in, right. With the weigh-in, right. Or yeah, even before the weigh-in. And then Cody's talking about bringing back the American dream. You got to sink or you got to swim with this. People are
throwing his belts back into the ring. And
jeez. Bro. I know we don't have to. I don't mean to digress, but I feel like he's going to turn heel. He's going to turn heel. And there's I forgot where I found this article. Kudos to the person that
I'm ready to see the way Cody was against Kenny again.
Kudos to the person who wrote this. I believe it's on Cage Side Seats, but they came up with a very interesting analogy in regards to Malachi Black and this mist. Now, let me give you some game, Don Sean, because
are you talking that he's doing some Undertaker style, bringing him into his occult style thing?
Or no, either that or he's doing some Bray Wyatt type shit that everybody he touches is gonna turn heel in the next few weeks to months. A la Dante Martin. Oh yeah, you forgot he got sprayed with the black mist, huh?
He did. No, I did not forget.
He got sprayed with the black
because the House of Black accepts.
And never forgets. The House of Black accepts and he never forgets. So Dante Martin got sprayed with the black mist one week. Next week, he's facing Malachi Black, and he nods at Dante Martin immediately after their match. Few weeks later, this dude is with Lio Rush, and he's on a 5-win streak. All of a sudden, he's going to Team Taz, and he's now a heel.
For a bag of Lays. For a bag of Lays.
From Hook. From a bag of cheese
Who we
doodle.
thought's first match was going to be against CM Punk on AEW television. Remember that? Oh, my God.
Facts.
We thought that was going to be it. We were like, whoa.
Hey, no shade against Hook, but damn it. Oh, shit. I feel like him and Dante Martin could be a tag team if they really want to right now.
Yeah.
I really do feel like that right now.
I'm personally really interested in like, what's going to happen because when's his brother, like Darius coming back?
Darius, bro, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, at this stage of the game, Darius is at the point where, okay, what the WTF? He went from FTW to WTF. So, hell, maybe Darius could team up with Leo.
I don't know. I'm a huge Lio Rush fan. I think, he has some great matches. I would love to see him do a fly solo run. You know what I mean?
Hey, man.
Maybe him be the next challenger for the open challenge for the TNT title after the was it?
Well, hell, I would like to see him. I would like to see him take the FTW title from Ricky Starks.
Oof.
Oof, indeed.
Well, you heard Ricky on Rampage say he wants his FTW belt to be at Battle of the Belts. So, excited for
Tony Khan, if you hear us right now in the penthouse, my friend, book Lio Rush versus Ricky Starks for the FTW championship at Battle of the Belts.
That would be sick.
Yes, sir.
But what belt is Lio Rush bringing to the Battle of the Belts?
But I mean, you see that, Don Sean, that's not.
But the thing is, we don't even have specifics, right?
That's what I'm saying, right? There's no
toxicity
specifics.
of the community saying, "Oh, Battle of the Belts is just a knockout Clash of Champions," when Clash of Champions wasn't even WWE's idea; it was WCW's. But I digress.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Clash of the Champions went like back in the day of the Clash of the Champions. You know that titles were on the line, but I don't think anybody else would bring in titles. You had Stunning Steve Austin bring the U.S. title, and then Ricky Steamboat, they challenged each other at the clashes of the Clash of the Champions, and you had Ric Flair and Sting. There's certain things that stand out from Clash of the Champions. So I don't think everybody has to bring a belt, but it would be nice if Leo brought a belt. But I don't think he's gonna have to bring a belt if he wants Ricky Stark's FTW title. That's just me.
No, I mean
Leo has
I
the
don't
belt
think so
of his
either.
God-given talent, bro.
That's it. He's gonna be putting it all on the line. But I
as a
agree.
pro
I
wrestler.
definitely think Battle of the Belts should be like people battling for the belts. Like it should just be an all-title pay-per-view.
All championships
Everybody's
on
going
the line.
all championships on the line, and especially if the
Yeah.
Triple I Tag Team Champions are still there, which we don't know how that's gonna play out because Triple A Mania is right before that, and they're
Right,
taking
so
on the
yep.
Lucha Brothers over there too. For the Triple A Tag Team titles again. So, speaking of that, with Kenny Omega stepping down due to injury and vacating the title, AAA announced their new match will be, I call it a fatal five-way dance, old school ECW style five-way dance. They announced for the Mega Campeon title will be Hijo del Vikingo, Samurai de Sol, Jay Lethal, Bobby Fish, and my boy Bandito, the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. Jay Lethal, Bobby Fish,
Two AEW lives.
Samurai de Soul added. All four of these men added to this match. Insane.
What?
Gonna be an insane match. Guys, if you guys are watching and you are familiar with these wrestlers, drop in the comments who you believe is gonna win. I have no idea.
This is a toss-up right here because,
It probably will go to Hio, though, since he was gonna wrestle Kenny for it.
he was the person to originally wrestle Kenny. I feel like since Kenny dropped most of his belts, you kind of figure that Hio was gonna be the next guy up. But hell, I don't mind wrenches. I don't mind wrenches in the plan, bro.
I don't mind seeing Bandito take it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't
Add
mind
another
seeing
one around his
Bandito.
waist.
I don't even mind seeing Jay Lethal taking it because Jay Lethal's that caliber of a dude.
And it would get defended in AEW.
Exactly my point. You know, Jay Lethal has that caliber to, you know, to come in and be a surprise or be a wild card in any match on any given night, as he was about to do last week against Sammy Guevara.
Yes, absolutely. And I heard he brought back Black Machismo for WrestleCade, which
Dude, if he brings back Black Machismo for AEW, I'm losing my shit.
Me too.
Listen, there are many things that I love and many gimmicks in pro wrestling. But when Jay Lethal pulled off Black Machismo in 2008 in TNA, chef's kiss on that one.
Absolutely.
Man really took the X Division and he took it to a stratosphere when he had that character. So I definitely do dig. I definitely love the pickup of Jay Lethal going into AEW. And already just one match in, he's gonna. Don Sean, you worry about how lost in the shuffle some of these guys will be, like with the Ring of Honor situation taking place. But if you look at it from Tony Khan's perspective, and you know he's not going to use that much people from Ring of Honor, he already said it himself. He doesn't need all these guys, but he's going to bring in the guys that make sense.
I mean, I've read and heard that there's reports of the Briscoes supposed to be backstage at some event sometime soon. I would love for that. God knows it.
Dude, I wouldn't mind it would be a Battle of the Belts.
I would love it.
I wouldn't mind.
They have the GCW tag team titles.
Hell, I wouldn't even mind Friday Night on Rampage because guess what? FTR and the Lucha Brothers got a 2 out of 3 falls match for the tag titles on that night. And I'm picking top guys to win that.
2 out of 3 falls? You think they're going to roll with?
I'm picking top guys to – I'm picking FTR to win the tag titles on Friday night.
Oof.
And I wouldn't be – you know what? Call me crazy.
That's a hot take.
That's a very hot take. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get them boys, the Briscoes, to roll up on them at the end of the show. Oof. Add some element of surprise, but then again, you never know because
you're talking some ish I want to hear though. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking about it. I think they show up at Battle of the Belts.
I really do think they show up at Battle. But Don Sean, you got a long way between now and the 8th.
If they were to show up, I do think it would happen, or at Winter is Coming.
Right, they got a long way to go between now and the 8th, dude.
Or at Winter is Coming, for sure.
Right.
For sure. Continuing with, since we kind of mentioned Ring of Honor's Women of Honor World Champion Roxy is the first entrant of the Open Door for MLW. It was announced today that she will be on the January card called Blood and Thunder. Now, specifically who her opponent is, all that, no reports of that yet, but it has been confirmed.
Right.
First entrant of the Open Door policy, Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, Roxy. She's going to be there. That's pretty dope.
Yo, shout out to Cesar Duran for this. Because we're about
off with this.
I think we're about to see something very, very, very special taking place with Major League Wrestling. Probably, I'm not going to say Lucha Underground-esque. It's going to have a different feel to what he brought with Lucha Underground.
Lucha Underground was I mean, you heard me say it. They had one of the top-notch rosters there could be. Honestly, if it was still around, it could be just as strong as AEW if they had what Tony and his family was able to bring for AEW. Lucha Underground would still be around as one of the most over shows in the world, for sure.
But
so Cesar Duran, what he's going to do with MLW and just the Open Door currently, Alex Kane, the recently crowned national openweight champion. I mean, and you saw he was with Mr. Thomas at the recent MLW stuff. If you're keeping up, I mean, what's the era of Alex Kane going to be like as the openweight champion? Hammerstone still the champion. I mean, him and Brian Cage's match over the weekend. I mean, I know it's for somewhere else. You know what I mean? They wrestled so much that they just ended up going to a pose down. You know what I mean? So much crazy and amazing things happening. Yes, because they're massive. They're massive. They're massive mountains of meat. It's crazy.
Bro.
But just with that being said, MLW really is going to be producing some huge things, I believe. similar in that fashion to what, like, they're trying, not even trying. I'm not gonna say trying. They are another major company. But speaking about that, I mean, a new company just got announced. I mean, this is random news, really, honestly, guys.
Are
Kinda just
you
came
about
upon
to talk
this.
about Jonathan Gresham and
Yes.
Baron Black's promotion, Terminus? Is that how it's pronounced? Tremonus or
Terminus.
Terminus? Excuse me.
Yes, Terminus. So Jonathan Gresham and Baron Black announced a new promotion. Terminus is going to be debuting in Atlanta in 2022. So it's led by, like we said, it's led by Jonathan Gresham, Baron Black. It's coming to Atlanta, Georgia, in a video link. It was released. It's coming on January 16th, 2022. The tagline is "All roads lead here," and they're sporting a modern age grappling title. So that sounds really cool to support Terminus's name. So it says Terminus and then it says modern age grappling, guys, from the graphic we've seen so far. And so far released in the video package, you saw glimpses of Chris Dickinson, you saw Josh Alexander, you saw Bandito, Tracy Williams, and Jay Lethal. They're all, and if you guys are familiar and you guys are keeping up with the pro wrestling world, very, very prominent names still in the pro wrestling world. So we're going to see January 16th, 2022 is the date that was teased. So let's see what's going to happen.
Also signed for that event, Daniel Garcia.
Yes.
You know how much I have a high praise for that kid, man. He is
a match with Eddie
special.
Kingston.
Technical beast.
Technical
beast.
beast.
For as little as he is at 185 pounds, dude is a problem technical. Boy.
Saw the way he worked Eddie Kingston.
Boy. JR usually say quicker than the proverbial hiccup. My man is a technical set. Well, I don't know. Hey, let me tell you something. There's levels to it. And here's him, and then there's there's Danielson over there on the other side of the spectrum.
I would love to see Daniel Garcia versus Gresham in a Pure Rules match.
Hey, let me tell you something. You might see it over in Atlanta. If Gresham has something to say about it, it could happen, my man.
Hey, I'm okay with the Pure title coming to Terminus and getting defended there.
As it should.
Because where else is it going to go?
The Forbidden Door should not just be AEW, my man. It should be companies among companies just work. Listen, this is pro wrestling.
Jeff Cobb's interview? He said he hates that term.
You know what? Then what else can we say then?
The open door, the forbidden door, and that made me laugh. It's the forbidden door. It's the open door. It is what it is. It's pro wrestling today. Modern pro wrestling.
I mean, you could call it the return of the territories. You could call it what you will, man. But this is really this is the renaissance of professional wrestling. We are living, Don Sean, believe it or not, we are a part of this renaissance of pro wrestling.
I mean, we absolutely are. We absolutely are.
How beautiful is it,
Wrestle Kingdom, 3 nights this year, and guess what? On the 3rd night, New Japan versus Noah. Pro Wrestling Noah is amazing.
Who would have thought?
I mean? And we have a chance to see this title debauchery finally end and find out who is the guy. Is it
Will Ospreay?
Shingo? Is it Will Ospreay? Is it Kazuchika Okada? Now,
no,
you guys have watched
it's not Kazuchika Okada.
You've seen and you guys have heard he's been that face of the 4th iteration of the belt for so long. I understand why he carries it around, but
my man,
you also heard me say I'm so excited for this nonsense to come to an end. I want to see Will Ospreay come out on top of it all just to see it, but we don't know what's going to happen.
Shout out to Kota Ibushi, but Kazuchika Okada won the G1 by accident. Okay,
Sure.
I will accident, bro.
Cobb should have won.
All I got to say.
Or Zach
you said it for me. All I had to say. By accident. I digress. Go ahead.
Cobb should have won for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's just such a time to be a fan of pro wrestling, guys. My point in saying that. Now, look, you have one of the biggest yearly, WrestleMania style pay-per-views for a company, right? That is their WrestleMania, Wrestle Kingdom. It is their biggest time of the year. It's what the G1 tournament is about. It's what a lot of these things that they do throughout the year is about. The best of the Super Juniors, all this great stuff that they have going on. New Japan is amazing. Obviously, if you guys follow pro wrestling, a lot of our favorite wrestlers today as well did time and tenure there. And speaking of New Japan, they actually just announced New Japan Strong: The New Beginning. Starts in 2022 in Seattle, January 15th. It's New Japan's USA series, and it has some huge moments in the years that have really passed. Come, this year, last year, years before. If you've kept up with New Japan Strong, it's been really prominent for the American scene for New Japan. Not as many matches on a typical New Japan show, really, obviously, just because of the differences. But we've seen what have we seen on there? Look, we saw the Gorillas of Destiny, God. They seized the IWGP Tag Team Gold in 2020. You had a one-time reunion of Roppongi Vice in 2019 on New Japan Strong, right? And then you saw Kenta and Jon Moxley battling for the United States Heavyweight Championship this year. So really, 2022 for New Japan Strong can bring something big, and I'm excited for it.
I will tell you what, with this whole Forbidden Door thing, you never know. You just now I'm at the belief and the stage of you just never know with this. And that's the beauty of it. That's the unpredictability of being a wrestling fan, and that's the beauty of being a wrestling fan. It should leave you wanting more. It should leave you like on an edge of, what's gonna happen next with these guys. That's it's so crazy because it's now like in the crosshairs of the elite. What happens next with the elite? Kenny's now out of the fold for a few months. Is Adam Cole at the helm? Is he gonna bring Bobby Fish in? We know Kyle O'Reilly's contract is coming up to end. We know Johnny
Gargano's is mere days away.
Don Sean, it was mere days away.
He signed an extension to the 10th. Still mere days.
Okay. The thing about his contract is very weird because the contract was supposed to expire on December the 3rd. However, he is participating in the War Games, which is on the 5th. So now, because of all of that happening, they have extended his contract to the 10th. Does he extend? Does he not? Does he stay? Does he go? I'll tell you like this right now, Don Sean.
If he only signed a week, he's going.
But, okay. Everybody's now he's going to go to
No.
I'm going to tell you right now, AEW doesn't need Johnny Gargano, and I'm pretty sure Johnny Gargano feels the same way.
I would love to see Johnny Gargano step through the open door and go to MLW with what they got going on. I would love to see him challenge Moose for the Impact title.
Sean, this is why I said, you have a lot of companies that could be a strong third on the U.S. market of pro wrestling. Literally, you have MLW. You told me, literally last week we were discussing Impact and NWA. The Knockouts World Championship is going to be defended at NWA's Hard Times 2 coming up Saturday night.
That's right.
Mickey James is going to face Kiera Hogan.
Yes, it's Impact versus AEW.
So, and when I think about this, I'm like, well, damn. If you just merge these things together, yes, I mean, merging doesn't really help, but hell, you got all these territories. Call it what they will, Don Sean. They're territories. Yes. Impact is a territory. Tiger, you're going to be with me the rest of the show. Impact is a territory. MLW is a territory. NWA is a territory. You got all these territories. You got all these promotions. I'm like, dude, I don't think Johnny Gargano is going to want to go to AEW if he does happen to leave NXT. It's not going to be that simple
for him. I don't think there's a need for him to go to AEW. Now, maybe he's sparked. Maybe he's intrigued.
Under open door pretenses, Don Sean, if he challenges for the TNT Championship as a one-off, that would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be cool.
Without a doubt. Johnny challenging for the title, why not?
In terms of him being there long-term, I don't see it happening. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't happen.
No, I don't see it happening either. I mean, he's just having a baby with Candice LeRae, whose contract should be expiring middle of next year as well.
Right. And for some odd reason, didn't they say they was going to extend it just a little bit more? they was gonna extend her contract because of her pregnancy, or did
Because
I
of the
hear that?
maternity leave, but apparently they didn't do that for Becky Lynch. So, I mean, obviously that's a different circumstance. They're two completely different
Right.
scenarios with the WWE. But I don't know. In regards to the contract talk, I won't lie, I can't really confirm anything.
I can't confirm nor deny.
To the extension, but I've read that it expires mid 2022, and that there is no extension currently. That could obviously change, right? With the landscape and that's the real big thing, right? Is Johnny want to go somewhere that's going to put him on the road, away from his family, all the time,
or does
right?
he want to be consistent, right?
Or does he want to be where she is, right? Like, there's so many different things, but there's so much out there right now currently. Again, like what's on Impact, Ring of Honor. Hopefully, when they come back,
but then we can
NWA,
turn it back around.
MLW,
Right, and we can
ECW.
turn it back around. Does Johnny Gargano stay in NXT?
Is the contract extension thing just to get people talking? Johnny wrestling again? Is he just to get his names back in everybody's mouth?
Does he stay in NXT to really uplift this next generation crop of stars? Do him and Ciampa stay this course and help bolster this roster with what they have now at NXT?
I feel like this can go two ways, right? I feel like at War Games, like the DIY reunion could end beautifully, right? Or it could end
full circle kind of deal, right?
Or it could end with them like busting each other up again, right? But the thing with this is even if they bust each other up again, that could be their final time, right? It could just be them writing the story,
right?
Like, this is how their story ends. They're forever fighting now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fight forever. That's it. Fight forever.
Fight forever. Yeah.
100%, man. But they can go so many ways. So many ways. I mean, Johnny Gargano means so much to NXT. But NXT is not NXT anymore. It's NXT 2.0 now. And I think WWE is going to make the very grave mistake of the NXT
if they haven't already,
of the NXT 2.0 men's team winning. And I'm not okay with that.
Whoa. Are you saying this right now? Are you putting yourself on record right now and saying the 2.0 team is going to win?
I'm putting myself on record right now saying that I believe WWE is going to make the mistake of making them win. Yes. I'm not saying I think they're going to win.
But your heart
my heart is telling me WWE is going to make the mistake of putting them over, because they've been driving to us that this is no longer NXT 2.0. Think about Mandy with Io Shirai, right? All that stuff that happened. I would hate to see it. I'm personally telling you.
But you know what kills me? I feel like even LA Knight joining that team of DIY. For real, he's just known to me as Eli Drake. I'm just gonna call that. But I'm gonna give him his real. I'm gonna give him respect and call him Just Do and call him LA Knight, bro. But still, and just him on that team is just a weird. It's just a weird dynamic.
Who was killing it on NWA just shortly ago. So
I just feel like that's a weird dynamic, him on that team, dude. And I'm just like, I just feel like he's gonna turn on them. If there's any way you can end that, I feel like LA Knight just turns on them and he like really bolsters this 2.0 group over.
No, because I feel like he is a 2.0 guy. You know, he was in the shift, that weird gray area, you know?
Right. Because remember, he was a part of the very last crop before they transitioned to 2.0. So it's I get what you're saying in regards to, like, I feel like they will really screw the pooch in this moment. My heart is going with the first generation to win this.
I hope so.
My heart is going with the first generation to win this, but my head, the head is really telling me, like, they could really, like, pull something up. And let me tell you something. Braun Breaker is cool. Carmelo Hayes is a stud. Who else? Who's the other guy? Is it Trick? Is it not? It's not Trick Williams. Is Trick Williams a part of that?
I can't confirm that.
Hold that thought.
Can't even confirm it.
I will give us the accuracy right here. But
Can't confirm it. No, I'm thinking about it. Don't got it on my head right now.
No, it's not Don Sean, but still. But either way, man, it's just.
I know
it's just
Bron Breakker's on it, and I know Carmelo Hayes is on it. That's literally
for
it's
the
literally what I
love
knew, and you named
of-
them.
Oh,
Because
that is.
I was laughing at when Melo, he posted on his Instagram the whole when Melo shoot he don't miss thing, and he was like,
Tony D'Angelo and Grayson Waller.
whoa, Tony D'Angelo, oh my God, how did I forget he's on that team?
But right there,
Hey,
right there, bro. I mean, I don't know about you, but have you seen Tony D'Angelo do much since coming to NXT?
not enough to beat the first team.
Not enough to be on the War Games team, right? Grayson Waller, the same thing. Have you seen? It really and truly, the spotlight has been on Carmelo Hayes and Bron Breakker. They're right now the captains of this team.
Yeah,
whether we want to acknowledge it or not.
Well,
Grayson Waller.
He's the NXT North American champion. He has a belt. And the other one just challenged for Goldie.
And come on now. What did we really think he was going to get that first attempt? I mean, shit.
I did.
Austin Theory almost won the WWE Championship last week, so.
I mean, Austin Theory, as you saw Vince come back yesterday to give him the rub.
I want to get to that in a little bit. I want to get to that, but I'm just like, I mean, we could close off the NXT topic, man, but I just really feel like the direction they're going into War Games and after War Games, it's very much unknown. It sounds like it's very much unknown.
Well, obviously we know that Toxic Attraction and Dakota Kai are winning the War Games. Dakota Kai is undefeated at War Games.
Dakota
She's
Kai
like 3-0 currently.
Right.
Which is outrageous. It's insane. She's been on the winning team 3 years in a row. And I will say that NXT's War Games has been really good since they brought it back.
Right.
So, I don't...
Is it the traditional War Games? Probably not. I think Blood and Guts holds the traditional side of like submit or surrender. But I mean, pinfall or submission, you get the gist of it though. Yeah,
look at what the War Games was. I mean, I have one of the VHSs still here currently, 95 and 96.
The match beyond, my man. That's how Dusty put it. God rest his soul. That's how it was. It was always known as the match beyond. So can it get that old gist back with this year's War Games potentially? But I feel like the last few years they've done a great job of building it up. I just have I don't know, man. I just bro. The WWE just It just irks me sometimes, Sean. It just really does. It really does.
It does. It 100% does.
And
it does often, but you said you wanted to speak about Austin Theory. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, last night Austin Theory, my man, he got the hand of McMahon. You feel me? If I could put it in that way, he sits with Vince for 3 hours, watches all of Raw, and then he asks him to get his info and his insight and his perspective on it. He's saying, "What did you think? What did you see?" And expect the unexpected. Surprises could happen at any given turn. Vince, I don't know what kind of project this is, Vince. What I'm telling you right now, this better end with Austin Theory winning the WWE Championship within the next 2 to 3 years.
Bully
Probably less than that.
Bully Ray made me laugh. He was like, Austin Theory is, Vince has put him over so big. Hopefully he's not firing him tomorrow. Man, but I think it was something super important that Vince came back, and really he's making it a point to put this guy in.
Well, especially when you've seen Vince on TV the last 2 weeks, and he's been really pushing this fact, and he's been really with this guy. He's been with Austin really most of those 2 weeks, majority of those 2 weeks. You just have that sense, okay, I think he's going to have fun with this project. I would hope he has some fun with this project because it looks like this is going to be the next guy he wants he wants as the guy, you know.
Yeah, but much like he said about Drew McIntyre when he was first around, you know, the future WWE champion.
And so now this is where I ask you this. Do you think Theory will have to leave WWE first to find his way? Or do you think he will find his way in WWE?
I think Theory is already well into his gimmick. I think he's very over. What he's doing is working. I'm a huge fan of it. I love what WWE is doing with him. I'm glad they didn't ruin him coming up from Evolve through NXT into where he's at now. So I personally do, like you said, I believe there's a title in his future very soon. Very, very soon into his future. Maybe not this current year, 2022, but 2023, without a doubt.
I feel like
maybe if not the heavyweight belt, I definitely think maybe United States or Intercontinental Championship run this year.
Very much so. I do think he will have the US title I'll say at least by the spring. Could go into WrestleMania. That's a real big push, though. That's a real big push.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with him at the Royal Rumble too.
Oh, I forgot about it. Do you think he can have a showing?
Maybe this is what this is leading to.
I would hope. I would really hope, you know, because I feel like the Rumble, like I told you, like Survivor Series, the Rumble has lost its touch in the last few years. He's not really like a young star who's had like a real good showing in the Rumble. So I feel like if they're gonna do it, this is one of the bigger stages to do it and to present the name of Austin Theory to the wrestling world of the WWE universe, you know.
Well, with that too, it's just like the Rumble has become more of a gimmick again, rather than like what it was in like the Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold era, like where they were going back to back winning them, or like Stone Cold how he did, or even like Triple H upon his return, or something like that. Like up until like the last few years, it really hasn't really had as much of the strength as it's had in years past, like you said. But they have the crop of talent to do it, to bring it around, and to give it that. To give it that old school flow, right? But with the new school vibe, right? You got guys like Ricochet. We talk about it all the time.
Who's been balling, bro? He has been putting on some bangers at the last
few weeks. I mean, the people who are contracted to WWE are mega stars.
No shine. They are mega stars on the indies, but they get no shine. It boggles my mind. Like, Vince, you have these guys. You're giving them all this money. Use them, bro. Just use them. Like, put a champion. Like, bro, you know how many times you could make the Intercontinental Championship picture look more appealing than what it is right now? And we're going to touch on what Kurt Angle said about Shinsuke Nakamura and how they're not utilizing him to his full potential.
Oh,
because
1,000%. And he's 100% correct. 100% correct. They're not giving him his due. He's not giving him the run he deserves. I mean, his charisma, his match style, the King of Strong style. I mean, his song is over. Pat McAfee's even putting him super over with his crowd. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Shinsuke is so over, it's put Pat McAfee over. Adam Cole put Pat McAfee over. Now Shinsuke's putting Pat McAfee over. You know what I mean?
And can we really, bro? Little tidbit to Pat McAfee on commentary, bro, because he's just been something else. If there's any good thing WWE has done this year, it has put Pat McAfee on the commentary booth with Michael Cole on SmackDown.
Absolutely.
I cannot say much enough, but yeah, man, like the IC title picture has got to get a facelift. It's got to get something going on, bro, because it's not it. It's not what it used to be.
Well, they have the people. They have Sheamus.
That's what I'm saying. They have the talent. They got the people, and they're just not using them. They're like, bro, next thing you know, they're probably releasing them at every turn.
And isn't Cesaro on SmackDown too?
Yes. Yes. And it's just like, I'm like, bro, you let him job to Los Lotharios. Don't get me wrong, Angel Garza and Carrillo, they're good.
No.
But you got Cesaro, who just challenged for a world championship not too long ago, job into these dudes.
And I'm tight about that because they should have finally gave him his just dues.
Bro, just go back to the Indies and become Claudio Castagnoli. You'll win a world
And how
title.
about at the last event, him and Sheamus just, Survivor Series, just doing whatever.
Not even a little reunion of the bar.
Nothing.
Not even a little reunion of the bar. You know,
dudes are just going at each other like nothing. Come on.
Don Sean. We could spend our valuable time talking about the debauchery that is real wrestling entertainment, but we ain't. I'm not. I'd rather not. Taya Valkyrie saying the company gonna get sold. Next thing she can see the company being sold in 5 years. Damn it, I say 3. If you're gonna go at this route.
Yeah.
I told you, Don Sean. I told you.
3 to 5 years for sure.
3 WrestleMania. They only announced up to WrestleMania 39. They haven't even announced WrestleMania 40. God knows if they're gonna be a WrestleMania 40.
I mean, it seems like
God knows.
What happens, right? Like, is what happened with Triple H enough to have been like, okay, let's get it out the family?
Dude, I'm at this point. I'm like, man, like, and they said Triple H was, last seen according to Starman, Wrestling Observer newsletter. They said Triple H was last seen while the new headquarters was getting built in Stamford. So didn't really get a little picture on that, but man, I hope he's all right.
There was a video. I saw a video.
Yeah.
They were just walking down a ramp. He's just wearing a hard hat though, nothing in his hands, just walking, saying hello.
No, okay, I was about to say no cane, no anything. You didn't see no cane or anything.
Just
dude, I if I'm Triple H, hell no, I wouldn't take the position back at this time. I wouldn't. No, sir. Worry about your health. That's how I feel. That is how I feel. I mean, honestly, this. Oof. And then, I mean, I know I said we wouldn't go back to it, but like John Morrison, he breaks his silence after being released, and he's talking about one of the things he said was
again now.
Now he's John Hennigan again, and right. And the great thing about being a storyteller is that when one chapter opens, when one chapter closes, another one opens. Does he leave wrestling entirely, or do you think John goes back into the Indies and goes to where he really honed his craft after WWE?
I think WWE's last run with him put a bad taste in his mouth. Not even a tag team title championship with The Miz. Nothing.
Not even. I could see if they even put the Intercontinental title on him.
Nothing.
Not a single championship.
Not even the 24/7 title. They gave it to Dana Brooke. 7 years in the company. Her first championship, 24/7 title. And she's proud of it, and I'm happy for her to be proud of it as a wrestling fan. But really, 7 years in the company, and you're gonna allow yourself to be rewarded with the 24/7 championship? Something they have had R-Truth running around on TV
almost 50 times.
Come on,
Don Sean. I don't know. This is somber. This is like a somber. This is just a somber stench when it comes to the news in WWE, man. And it sucks because there's so much great talent out there. There's so much great talent in that company, and they're not being utilized to their full potential. That is literally all I said. Well, yet you got AEW, and then you got the Young Bucks getting their contracts extended till 2024.
Yes, 2 more years of this.
Party up for 2 more years, and that's what it feels like over in Tony's side in Tony Town over there.
And everybody's now taking that as you guys are leaving, you guys are retiring.
No,
they don't retire.
They don't retire. They just get better. They don't. Yeah, that's right. The extremely
they're
violent people will be back.
They will always be here. They're not going to the feds.
Sir, whatever, and that whatever thing we have thought about them going to the feds a few years ago, that's quelled, bro. That's quelled down. All right, they are not going to the feds. Kenny's damn sure not going to the feds if his best friends are there. Clearly, he better not go to the feds after seeing what AJ Styles has been subjected to these last few years. On top of which, Cody is probably the only member. Cody and Kenny are the only two members who have not had contract extensions yet. So I don't think they're even going to go to the feds, but rather they'll have their contracts extended before the year is up.
Yeah, why not? This is their company they helped build.
I'm just like, yo, yeah, no. Whatever idea they had about going to the feds or the feds calling them to do a sweep on, ain't happening. There ain't gonna be no feds ain't fixing to do no sweep on AEW. It ain't gonna take place, bro. It ain't taking place.
I would say I do think that there is a chance that MJF goes, but I think that's just all a work at the same time.
My man's gonna start the bidding war and he gonna resign with AEW at the last minute. I already know how this goes.
Yeah. He wants the money.
Max Friedman, he's gonna get Don Sean, Max Friedman gonna get every bit of his money.
Without a doubt, 100%.
Every bit of his money. I will ensure it. Tony Khan, you better mark my words and mark my words wisely. You better make sure Maxwell Jacob Friedman gets all of his money. Every bit of it.
Cut the check.
Cut the check.
Cut the check.
Cut the check, TK. Cut the check.
Guys, so we've been talking about pro wrestling and the pro wrestling world and so much that's happened about it. But guys, taking off the glasses, it is time. We're getting into
the Wolves Den.
The Wolves Den.
You gotta have like a
Guys, we're getting into the Wolves Den. We're getting into the last little bit before we wrap up the show for sure. I'm going to keep it. I know we've been at it for about 2 hours. We had that amazing interview with Robyn and Charlette Renegade, the Renegade Twins, the inaugural Mission Pro Wrestling and Capital Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champions. They let you guys know they'll be in Houston, Delaware this Saturday. CCW action going down. So make sure if you guys are in the area, go there. If not, check them out on Title Match Network. They let you guys know on the YouTube. They'll be there. But we're getting into it, guys. The Wolves Den. There was a lot of combat sports action that happened this weekend, guys. And I'm going to jump right into, to me, what is some of the biggest news in the boxing world. George Kambosos Jr. shocks the world and defeats the undefeated. Both of them are undefeated, right? Defeats the undefeated Teofimo Lopez by split decision. Guys, the scorecards 115, 112, 113, 112, right? It was 113, 111. And then 115, 111, right? All in favor of George Kambosos at that point for the split decision win. And to me, what is probably the most important victory in Australian boxing history. The guy, undefeated, walked in and walked out with belts that he didn't even know he can, at that time, prior to walking into that fight, that he was going to get. Teofimo Lopez, though, guys, I mean, this was a mandatory defense. He was really, really, really taking Kambosos lightly. He kept saying he was going to knock him out in the first round. He came out super aggressive, not his style that we've seen in recent fights or in recent years, and he gets floored in the first round. Unfortunately, as soon as he gets back up, he does knock down George Kambosos Jr., but it doesn't get counted because it happens at the bell. There was no standing 8 count the same way there was for Teofimo. He ends up knocking him down in about round 9 or 10. And Kambosos recovers and ends up finishing the fight strong, round 11, round 12. Teofimo looked way more fatigued and tired than he has. And his fight's past. This is obviously his toughest fight. I mean, the dude was lumped up, cut, bruised. Personally, I was not a fan of how he handled the loss. I am a fan of how George Kambosos handled it, though. He mentioned it on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani in the interview he had with them just about how, he understands the guy's a young guy and he just had everything taken from him. His undefeated record, his championships, and, he handled it that way because that's at the moment he's filled with raw emotion and taking in his first ever loss in front of the world, in which was a close war of a fight. He's like, so I can understand why he reacted that way, and I hold nothing towards him in that regard. But I am the champ. I did beat you. And you guys remember, pre-fight, he told him he wasn't going to back down. He was going to be in his face the whole fight, and he sure was. Accuracy was on 1,000. His speed was there almost throughout the whole fight. It kind of really started to go away in round 10. And then after the knockdown, he kind of just brought it back. He's going to be extremely difficult to beat, guys, moving forward. But I'm excited to see, Vasily Lomachenko is fighting soon, who is the person Teofimo Lopez took the belts from prior. I'm excited to see kind of what happens with that. Does Lomachenko go for Teofimo before either one of them either hold the belts again? Does that fight sell without the belts being on the line? Who knows, right? But yeah, it's pretty insane stuff. Shout out to George Kambosos Jr. He is the boxing lightweight champion, and Alexander Volkanovski, the current UFC featherweight champion. So shout out to Australia being represented well in combat sports by two of the best. Kambosos made a joke about how he believes he's going to go train and help Alexander Volkanovski. You never know. You may see Kambosos in MMA and Volkanovski in boxing in 2022. So we will see. I'm interested in that. And something else that happened, guys, and I find it funny to really be covering it because I really haven't spoken about any of these fights prior. But Triller Fight Club had something that they debuted called Triad Combat.
Yo, Don Sean, explain a little bit about this, please, because I'm a little lost. Like, elaborate on this, bro.
So
elaborate on
it
this.
It was team boxing meets team MMA. Team boxing headed by Shannon Briggs, and team MMA handed by Quentin Rampage Jackson, UFC legend, Pride legend, right? In the MMA community, Rampage and Shannon Briggs have had heat for a couple years now. I'm excited for when they finally get in the ring. I was when it looked like they could. Now they're like both old. I don't really care to see it, but I know the world does just because of how much shit they talk to each other. So Triad Combat, guys. It's boxing meets MMA. You're boxing at a distance, but clinch strikes in dirty boxing is allowed, rather than where in a normal boxing match, if you clinch, you're going to get released. In this Triad Combat, you are able to box throughout the clinch, but it must be an active clinch, meaning you must be striking or working to improve consistently, not just standing there. They fought in a triangle triad ring. Very different, guys. There's only one neutral corner now, rather than the typical square ring, right? The squared circle, as many would call it. They fought in a triangle, which they called the triad, which was very, very strange. They had open card scoring, just like certain boxing fights do, right? Like, they didn't have it for the sense of like the fighters knew if they were losing or winning, but they had people telling you what they believe in regards to the rounds. A knockdown resulted in a 10-8 round, so that was pretty cool. They're doing their rule set. And I just want to talk about a couple takeaways from this, right? A 2-on-1 MMA athlete beat a boxer by first round TKO. That was the real first knockout of the night. And then you really get into what happens after that, right? Some of the big names that competed on there. Platinum Mike Perry, right? He wins a come from behind victory against Seals, and that was a war, like a pure war. Perry got knocked down. He wasn't able to fight at the distance with Seals. Seals was really controlling it. I mean, they both wore it all over their face. They were both lumped up, bruised up, scarred up. So it was interesting to see for sure. And then not only was that, right, Mike Perry then talks about how it was his biggest payday ever in combat sports, for a fight was with these guys, which also raised now a lot of questions as to why is a promotion such as the UFC not able to do something like this. Obviously, something I wasn't a fan of, which they talked about, was like Ryan Kavanaugh, the owner of Triad. He just talked shit like about Dana White, about how they invited him. This is what a proper production should look like. If you want to see what fighting's supposed to look like. I'm not a fan of that. I get it. You guys want to get your name out there. You want to be bigger. You want to be able to compete with the very biggest names. And obviously that is the UFC when it comes to some form of combat sports in the MMA world, right? The UFC, Bellator. But you heard Rampage like talking about, oh, Bellator and UFC need to be worried. This is here to stay. I mean, it was different. I'm intrigued. But like Earl Spence said, it wasn't the best caliber of fighters there, right? Who was the matchmaker? Earl Spence Jr., if you guys aren't familiar, boxing world champion, right? Considered the pound for pound best outside of Terrence Bud Crawford. That's the big argument. Who's going to win that fight, Earl Spence Jr. or Bud Crawford, right? Earl Spence wasn't even at the Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos fight. He was at Triller Triad. So that also intrigued me. There was such a big boxing fight out there in the world, and he was here because he wanted to see what this was about. And he even let you know, like, hey, the matchmaking not so hot, but I got some boxers who can do way better and put on a show if you guys really want to get some boxers in there. So that was pretty cool. Matt Mitrione lost a really tough fight. It was really interesting. He was really doing well with the clinch boxing, but they weren't really counting that in that fight. Alex Reyes, who beat him by the decision, unanimous decision at that, ended up getting knocked down in the second round, but still wins the fight, much like Mike Perry did. And then Frank Mir. Frank Mir was in the main event against Cabal, and he got knocked out standing up in 2 minutes. You know, dazed on skates, had his face rearranged. It was insane. It was insane. I can't even begin to describe what it was like. And then, you know, you had Rampage coming in and making an excuse for him, talking about he fought injured, this and that. In the end of it all, Team MMA ends up beating Team Boxing 14 points to 11 points. They did a point system based off decisions, knockouts, etc., and victories. And this is what the final score ended up being. So that is Triller Triad Combat. I'm interested in seeing when their next card gets announced, what it's going to be like, where they're going to go. We'll see what happens with that. They say they're here to stay, so we'll see what happens in 2022. Other notable boxing and MMA news. John Jones wrestles with Olympic medalist and multi-time NCAA champion and All-American Jadaine Cox and gets served some humble pie. John Jones says it's the first time he's really been humbled like that ever wrestling for MMA and any type of training. And I understand why. Jadaine Cox is a beast. As a former amateur wrestler, he is one of the best ever, right? Consistently. He's been one of the best at his weights. Freshman national champion. The dude came in, was a beast, shocked the world. He's interesting to watch. He's great to see wrestle. And that was pretty cool. Other big news. Islam Makhachev and Beneil Dariush was signed for a main event fight in February. If you guys are following the lightweight picture, Islam Makhachev has been trying to argue for why he deserves a title shot with a 9-fight win streak. Many people like myself believe he hasn't fought enough top-tier caliber fighters to deserve that shot, that he's kind of just been babied along the way, such by Khabib, who was the former champion, in which, you know, Islam wasn't fighting to get to a title shot then because that was his teammate. Now his teammate's gone. He wants the title shot. You know, I definitely think Beneil Dariush deserves it more than him. So it's interesting to see this fight. Beneil Dariush ranked number 3 currently in the world. He is a grappler, and he even announced, I'm not going to be scared to grapple this guy. I will indeed grapple with Islam Makhachev. I get that that's his style, but this is my style too, and we're fighters, and we're going to get after it. I believe that the winner of this fight, definitely without a doubt, deserves a title shot, and I think Beneil Dariush comes out the other side with his hand raised. Without a doubt, that is my pick, guys. Beneil Dariush over Islam Makhachev. Claressa Shields, you know, the GOAT, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 3-division boxing champion. Her fight, which was scheduled for December 11th, has now been postponed to January with the same opponent. Unfortunately, one of the main card fighters and one of the main event, I believe it's the co-main event fighters, needed some more time to recover from an injury. Therefore, that's what they're getting. Rob Font, 4 straight wins, guys. 4 straight wins, including victories over current Bellator bantamweight champion Sergio Pettis, former bantamweight UFC champion Cody Garbrandt, and former title challenger Marlon Moraes. Rob Font, absolute beast, is taking on Jose Aldo, guys. Former featherweight king, multi-time featherweight king, one of the longest win streaks in the world. Still got it at his age, right? He's not a very old guy. He's just been fighting for so long, so his name's been on our mouth for so long that we just kind of like, oh, man. But he's just been in the game so long, guys. He still got it. Rob Font, Jose Aldo, this December, coming soon, guys. Very, very soon. You can sniff and you can smell the fight. That's how close it is. But it's definitely with title implications for 2022. I know there's a crazy title picture happening right now in the bantamweight division with Aljamain Sterling's neck injury, Peter Yan with the interim title. He wants to fight. He wants to defend. He was the former champion. Again, you guys know, lost the belt, unfortunately, due to disqualification for the knee.
Scrupulous circumstances.
Otherwise, guys, Kyogi Horiguchi, guys, he headlines Bellator 272 on Friday. He is the current Rizin Fighting Championship bantamweight champion, and he regained that belt for the second time, right? This is his second time holding it. December 2020, guys. And he's going to be battling Sergio Pettis for a second chance. Guys, Kyogi Horiguchi has done this before. He has held both the Rizin and Bellator bantamweight belts at the same time. He challenges this Friday to do it again against Sergio Pettis. If he wins, do we consider him the best bantamweight in the world? He's holding 2 major promotional titles, champ for real, not in 2 separate divisions, in the same division in 2 separate promotions. Does that make him better than Peter Yan? Does that make him better than T.J. Dillashaw, than Corey Sandhagen, Aljamain
He has a
Sterling?
strong
Right?
case.
He has a very strong case. 2
Strong
belts,
case.
major promotions, nothing.
2 major MMA promotions at that.
At that.
Has that been done before, Don Sean?
Yes, he has done it before. That's why he's going for his second time to do it.
Yeah.
Which is insane, which absolutely makes him the best in the world if he did it for a second time. Not only did he did it once, he was able to regain him after dropping him. So, other than that, Bilal Muhammad will take on Stephen Wonderboy Thompson December 18th, the same night as Jake Paul and Tommy Fury's card. It happens. So, I'd rather, guys, I'm going to be watching Bilal Muhammad take on Wonderboy. I know that for a fact.
You know, we're not there for the main event. We're not there. No. Okay.
That's just me, though.
That's just I agree. I agree.
Just me. I'm not a fan of his. Other than that, that's the only time he's been mentioned is when he's beefing with Claressa Shields. So
hey man.
Other than that, in boxing, the last bit of news I got, Kell Brooks and Amir Khan was just confirmed for February 19th in the UK. Both of them coming off of a year-plus layoff and losses. So interested to see how that fight turns out for those guys. But, guys, that's it for Don Sean's Wolves Den, a combat sports chat. So, guys, it's been wild. It's
been quite the show. Don Sean, you got to realize, we're only 4 episodes in, right?
We are 4 episodes in, and today we were able to get blessed
by the Renegade twins.
By Robyn and Charlette Renegade, guys. The inaugural Mission Pro Wrestling and Capital Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champions. The first ever female promotion champs. Guys.
The penthouse is just blessing us, bro. The penthouse is just blessing us. We're just getting blessed by stars. We got 2 great hosts blessing the penthouse. Talking to Lee is just fastest rising combat sports show in the world. Dubbing us right there. Dubbing us right there, right?
Guys, we never lack in confidence. Talking Elite, a different perspective. We are here. Thank you so much to Charlette and Robyn Renegade. Thank you so much to Mission Pro Wrestling, Capital Championship Wrestling for sharing the episode. Thank you to all of you guys who joined in, who reacted, to all of our new followers, to all of our new likers, to all of our new subscribers, to all of our new viewers. Talking Elite community, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you guys so much. Before we go, take a chance right there, guys. Take a chance right there. Look. Where the arrows. There we go.
We love you, people.
Follow us on our social media accounts. Keep a look, guys. We will have some more content coming for you guys each and every day. More interviews happening for you guys. We have a special guest returning sometime soon in the next couple of weeks. And guys, you just never know who's going to show up on Talking Elite. So until next time, it's your boy, the Don Sean.
It's your boy, Brother St. Polo, and you're not.
I love when he does that. But remember, guys, it's always a great time to dream elite. It's always amazing to be elite. You're great when you think elite, but there's only one place that you can
talk elite.
And that is with your boy, the Don Sean, and my bro, St. Polo here. Thank you guys again. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving holiday. You guys have a blessed Christmas holiday.
Don't forget to sign up for that raffle, man. Get your loved ones some free Air Max 96s.
Yes. My boy. Let's put it up.
Little prop, bro.
Look at that.
Get yourself some free Air Max 96 Supreme, man.
We will be ending it next Tuesday, 100%, guys, and we will find out who the winner is.
We're only just getting started in the penthouse, boys and girls. You better get on this train before it gets too late.
Absolutely,
Sean,
guys.
I think the train's getting ready to leave right now.
I think so. All right, y'all. Be blessed.
Be great. Be elite.
Talk Elite.